everyone. What's going on? Welcome to episode 136 of the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
What's good, gentlemen?
And Jacob Valka.
Good afternoon. I missed you both.
Likewise, my friend.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, we were uncertain as to whether or not you'd survived the Georgia-Alabama game.
I survived.
And clearly you did. You and I had a in-depth discussion involving emotion and stress and all sorts of negative things revolving that game, but also a bit of positivity as well.
Yes.
And I'm glad we all made it out on the other side.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
Don't say that to me, Jacob.
That was inappropriate, Jacob. Incredibly inappropriate.
Believe it or not, I haven't actually talked to my parents since.
Have you not?
Game. I've had mild discussion with my mother, but we haven't discussed anything football related.
So for clarification, your parents are avid Alabama fans.
Huge Alabama fans. Yeah. And just for clarification, I'm from Alabama. My father graduated from, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. My father has his doctorate from Alabama. My parents raised me to be an Alabama fan. But I turned against them, went to the dark side, and pull for Georgia now. So
you must be very disappointed.
No, that's the thing is I pull for Alabama when it doesn't affect Georgia.
Yeah, so that's like me. I know this sounds like blasphemy to some Georgia fans. I pull for Florida when we're not playing Florida.
That's awful.
It's because my mother's a huge Florida fan, and as a young child, I was certain I was a Florida fan, but somehow I wound up a Bulldog. So
yeah, well, my dad also.
I like Georgia Tech and Georgia.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent to what you guys are
pretty
saying.
much. I don't know. So. Florida's kind of worse. Florida's
then Tech.
Bigger. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're supposed to not like Tech.
Aside from my father and I, every bit of my extended family are Florida fans.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So,
well,
including my girlfriend claims to be a Florida fan, but
oh really?
Yeah. So.
I don't think I've ever even heard her talk about football.
I think it's because her dad went there and her brother works there still. So
well, my dad got his master's from UGA. My uncle got his doctorate from UGA, and I think when I was actually in the age of where I was kind of actually getting into watching sports, both of them were at Georgia. So I think that kind of swayed me to that side. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much about football. But yes, I was devastated, but I'm very optimistic and excited to see next season. #1 recruiting class. I think we'll do good again next year. Very confident in our new coach and stuff. So.
As do I.
Yeah, very excited.
Jacob's repping the colors at least.
Yeah.
And one could argue those are Falcons colors as well. Would you both call them? Okay.
I had to go work in Alabama the next day, and I was rocking a Georgia hoodie. So I'm not ashamed of who I pull for sure. Especially with a game that close.
Totally.
That was a really good close game.
How'd you feel about the Falcons game yesterday, Jacob?
It was a mess.
It
did not look good at all.
See, I was at work, and
what was up with that play calling, man? At the end, goodness.
Just reminded me of Georgia back when they played Alabama. Was it the SEC championship?
Yeah, not that bad though.
Yeah, but oh my God, it's been the problem all season. It's just we can't score. We can't get touchdowns in the red zone, which is ironic because last season we scored so many touchdowns. It was easy for us last year, but new offensive coordinator, we just haven't figured things out yet. And it's pretty frustrating, but it's even more frustrating because our defense is incredible this season, but we couldn't complement it with the offense. But
the Falcons.
Yeah, we'll try again next year, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Back to square one with the Falcons, it seems.
It's pretty disappointing, but at least we're a decent team. It could be worse, right?
You could definitely be worse. You could be the Browns.
Right. So at least we won a game.
Yeah. I was going to say when I was at work last night, the Falcons were playing. There's a restaurant beneath the venue, and I heard so many mixed emotions. I would occasionally hear cheers of victory, it seemed, or success, and then I'd hear screams of horror minutes later. So I was uncertain as to what was happening, and then I quickly found out that the Falcons had indeed lost.
There was one of the most ridiculous interceptions I've ever seen. One of our safeties came up to get an interception, it bounced off his knee, then it went 10 yards backwards. Then
I saw that.
And then the receiver caught it and got it to first down.
I saw that in a highlight. I only actually watched the last 7-8 minutes.
So the worst part of the game.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Two really insane interceptions in both games this week.
Oh yeah.
The Jake Fromm's bloop off the Alabama guy's head.
That was such a classic Georgia moment to me. It reminded me that whoever was our quarterback, maybe it was Murray at the time, when that passed during the Auburn game and it bounced off our receiver's hands and they caught it and ran it back.
That was I think it was Lambert.
Was it Lambert?
I think so. Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Dark moments.
Yeah, dark moments indeed. But anyways, how's you guys' week been? Besides minus the sadness from football, how's the week been?
Just fine. Nothing too exciting. Just played some video games and went to school. School sucks.
Is this your first week back?
It is.
Cool. That's exciting.
Far too much history homework. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's just too much. That's what I'll say. And it's an online class, so I was even more disturbed by the workload. But it is what it is, I guess.
Jacob?
Well, mainly the biggest highlight for me this week was just checking out Overwatch League for the first time. I know I briefly mentioned it in the Ask IOG, but this is like the first time I really dug into esports, and just like I know other esports aren't like Overwatch League, because there's a lot more money behind this, and it's actual state and city based, which is really cool. And I've kind of been following the Overwatch esports scene for a little while, so I kind of know who some players are, and which players are good, which ones aren't so good, and they need improvement. But I've been trying to. I've kind of decided that I'm going to root for the Dallas Fuel. They're actually 0-2 right now, so that's not very
bad call, man.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for the Valiant. I'm pretty sure they're undefeated.
They just beat the Fuel.
Is there a Atlanta-based team?
No, not yet. I really want us to get one though.
If there is, I'm going all in, dude. I'll go to the games.
Just
like the viewing
team,
parties and stuff.
Yeah. Just another team that's gonna lose.
Exactly. I know. I'm a sucker for sports though. But
I would get into an Atlanta-based team.
I told them we need red and black, or like red and dark blue colors to match the rest of the city.
At the very least, I think everyone should check it out, at least one match or game, just to see like the production value that goes into each match. Like, it's insane how nice the stage looks, how they it seems like you're watching a sports game pretty much. Like it kind of blew my mind how nice everything looked, how professional it was.
Fun fact real quick about Atlanta, involving Overwatch League. If we were to have a team, we could be the Thrashers. We could revive the Thrasher name, because the Thrashers moved to Winnipeg, I believe, and then the Thrashers was just totally abolished. And the brown Thrasher, last time I heard, was the Georgia State bird.
Oh, really?
So the Atlanta Thrashers could be really badass. Yeah.
Do they change?
The Georgia State, I think back in the day it was the brown Thrasher. I don't know if it's still the case, but
that's a cool name though.
Thrashers.
That's a cool, Thrashers. Just
that would be a good esports name.
Yeah. So and fit in with was it not Dallas Outlaws? Where is it? Houston Outlaws. Coolest color scheme in my opinion.
It's Optic Gaming.
Is it?
They own that team. Yeah.
Are they doing half decent in Overwatch League right now?
They're also 0-2.
These Texas teams, man.
Yeah, the team that you said you liked is 2-0.
I knew I was picking right with the name Valiant. I was like, that's the one I'm going for. So only because, like I said, I'll be traveling to and from LA multiple times this year. So I'm like, well, I might as well root for that team since there isn't an Atlanta team yet. And also Valiant was part of the band name of mine and Preston's Among the Valiant band. So I was like, those are two good enough reasons for me. So I'll root for the Valiant.
Yeah. But I know you guys don't really care that much, but the Koreans definitely own the first week of Overwatch League. So
it doesn't surprise me at all.
It'll be interesting to see if that keeps up, or if the Western teams will kind of pick up the pace and start to be as good as the Koreans are. But
was it you that told me about that joke, or the 04 watch? That was like a hashtag trending. So many 0-4 teams or something, or 4-0 teams, or 0-4. Like there was not really a mix.
Well, there's only 0-2 teams. Like there were a lot of matches that went 4-0. So that's probably what you mean. But yeah,
I'm very impressed by the spectacle of it all. Like the venue looks very cool, and just the presentation is excellent.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though, because once they move, because they eventually want to get to a point where you travel to a state or city to play a team at their home base, I guess.
Are there like home and away jerseys, or is there just... Is there?
Well, they wear the same shirts, but in the game there's a white skin and a colored skin.
No way. That is so cool, man. I love that so much.
But I like the production value that's coming out of the I think they're in Burbank. Like that's that venue, but like that's obviously not going to keep up with every place they go. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out once they start traveling.
I will say they've done a great job with the color coordination on each team, because you can easily tell, especially for people that have either never seen Overwatch or just people that aren't used to fast-paced shooters like that, especially when pros are playing Overwatch. It's so much faster than when I play Overwatch, for example.
Oh yeah.
But all the color coordination, you can really tell who's who and what's going on most of the time. So that's helpful, I imagine, for a lot of people, myself included, because it can get chaotic. But yeah, I enjoyed tuning into the few games I tuned into. I never watched a full match, but I watched a handful of rounds.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I hope that it grows. I mean, it seems to be in good shape at the moment. We'll see if it succeeds.
I think their first stream had like 450,000 people watching.
Yeah, just really impressive.
Not just on Twitch. They're on MLG, and they have a stream on their website. So.
Yeah, I saw there was a viewing party. I believe it was in Houston of a ton of people. Like hundreds of people had gathered in this one place to watch it live.
I think every team tried to kind of have a viewing party.
Yeah, it's super cool. Atlanta Thrashers, it's going to happen at some point. And you're going to lead the charge, Jacob, right?
Yeah.
Figure.
I'll be at every game wearing my stuff. I'll spray paint my body.
Right. Who's I bet there's a celebrity in Atlanta who's a big Overwatch fan or just video game fan in general that would want to cash in on something like that.
It'd have to be someone like Arthur Blank that's willing to dish out $10 million.
Right.
Probably Tyler Perry.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That or another hip-hop artist of some sort.
Maybe. Luda.
Yeah, I bet Ludacris would totally do it, man.
Anymore.
How cool would that be if like our owner's Ludacris? Like writes a song for the Atlanta Thrashers Overwatch team.
Yeah. Most people that buy the teams are sports organizations, like the Patriots. Robert Kraft, he bought a team for Boston. Or it's like a gaming esports company that buys the team. So
I just love the whole
gonna come buy a team.
approach to Overwatch League. Like it feels very much like the NFL of video games. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you live in Atlanta, you're bound to meet Mark Ruffalo at some point because he's obviously here all the time for movies he's filming, and he just goes places so random. I told him I met him at the Velvet Note, that jazz venue I worked at for a bit. That was random, but he also just shows up to like a random church a couple weeks ago. Someone had shared like, Mark Ruffalo was at my church, and all these people took pictures with him, and Mark Ruffalo was like, I just wanted to get some spiritual cleansing at the beginning of the year or something. He just pops up all over the city. It's hilarious. So you're bound to meet that guy here. Maybe he'll buy the team.
Maybe.
So
yeah, that was the highlight of my week. Other than that, it was just another work week. Work's kind of picking up. People are they're wanting to get their New Year's resolutions on, so people are ordering more shit. So I'll be working longer, but I get more money. So
that's great. You can't complain about that. Before we move on from Overwatch League, we have a question from John Kamen. Specifically, John Kamen 225. He says, with the introduction of Overwatch League, what is one game that you think will have prospered in the esports scene if it had one? So a lot of games have esports. I just don't keep up with esports, so I'm not entirely aware of everything that does have one or has had one in the past. But what is something nowadays?
I mean,
you think would
competitive
prosper?
Multiplayer shooter has an esports scene.
Mm-hmm.
What does he mean? Does he mean like
one that would prosper
Overwatch
more
League?
For having one?
Like a full-on league, perhaps, like Overwatch League. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think having a league would make a game more successful. I think the game kind of has to be successful already.
Maybe bringing that level of esport into the mainstream, like how Overwatch is. I mean, Overwatch is huge, obviously, but I bet even more people hear about it because of the popularity of this.
I'm saying if the game's not already huge, I don't think anybody would give a crap anyway.
And the games that are already huge, like League of Legends, Dota,
are all already have pretty big scenes already.
They already have huge scenes.
So
I don't know. It's a hard question.
If
PUBG.
I mean, it's trying.
Yeah.
I think we all need to get together and make Lawbreakers a big esport.
Apparently, I read a headline that for a brief bit over a weekend or two ago, there were no players. I mean, I'm talking 0 on the game on PC. Man,
it's so sad.
I feel very bad for Cliffy B, man.
I think the Kind of Funny Daily Show, Greg was reading an article and it said that company considers that game like a flop.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. It's a massive flop. And it's sad because
it's hard for a company to come out and say that.
I think it is a really solid game, but at the same time, it came out at a terrible time. Yeah. They came out at an awful time.
It came around. I think they even attributed kind of PUBG to its failure because they both were kind of coming out at the same time. Mm-hmm. I believe they were. Yeah.
All this Battle Royale inspiration that PUBG has inspired, that has me very excited for a lot of games, specifically Hunt Showdown. I have a lot of hope in that.
That game looks really cool.
I signed up for the beta.
Oh, yeah?
I think I did too. I'm still waiting for confirmation on that.
I'm following it on Steam. Mm-hmm. But I probably need to go sign up for the beta as well.
I know we'll talk a bit about Escape from Tarkov later. That game sort of has my interest. Mm-hmm. I think it sounds really cool. I've watched like very brief snippets of it, but those two specifically, that's what I'm excited about because I love PUBG, but I'm excited to see how everyone iterates upon PUBG. Like Fortnite, I think is great. And it also has that building mechanic that helps it differentiate itself.
Fortnite is taken over my social media.
Is it?
It seems like people aren't even playing PUBG anymore.
Yeah, people are obsessed with Fortnite. I want to play it again because I really enjoy it. I also love PUBG
I think it's
a lot.
fun, but I like PUBG more. I just like the more like grounded style of gameplay. That's just funner.
And I love like because in Fortnite you find a weapon, the weapon is what it is. Where in PUBG you're like, oh, there's a multitude of scopes and silencers and extended mags and all ways to customize your weapons and stuff. So,
but Fortnite is cool too.
It is,
the
yeah.
crafting stuff. But I haven't played near enough Fortnite to really have a solid opinion about it at all.
I need to play more. Maybe I'll play some this week.
For sure.
We'll see. But let's talk about games we played this week while we're on the topic.
Okay. Well, this week I was out of town for the most part, and I was pretty much just sulking over the Georgia loss, so I really didn't play too many games this week. I brought my Switch
what could I have done
town.
differently as a fan?
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, I was kind of just listening to a lot of sports podcasts and listening to other people sad as well to make me kind of feel better. Feel like I was around other sad people to kind of bring my spirits up, if that makes any sense at all.
It does.
But anyways,
like when the Falcons lost the Super Bowl, I always liked listening to a lot of people just talk about them, like what happened.
Well, I follow two Georgia podcasts, Dog Nation podcast, and Aaron Murray has a podcast with.
Does he?
Yeah, one of our old kickers called the Punt and Pass podcast.
That's
which
awesome.
is a fantastic name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but two really great podcasts. Just listening to them kind of, help me get through it, listening to other people kind of discuss some things. But anyways, besides the point, I thought I was going to get some really good Switch time this week, but and I really didn't even work that much, but just at the end of the day, I never really got around to my Switch. But besides that, this weekend, I was finally able to cross one of the games off of my list. I beat Nier, like fully beat it. I actually got all the achievements and stuff as well, which isn't a big deal at all because once you get all the endings, you can buy the achievements, and I had more than enough money to buy all of them. So
nice.
I technically didn't do everything, but I got through the narrative. And Nier is one of those games that I think I'm going to be thinking about for a while because I've been thinking about it. Even though I beat it yesterday afternoon, I've been thinking about it a whole lot. I've been listening to a lot of videos and story summaries for the game as well, just kind of listening to other people's interpretation of the story because it's weird. There's a lot of stuff that went over my head that confused me. The ending is very vague-ish, kind of. I don't know. It's just a very interesting game, but it still had an impact with me. But I don't want to spoil anything. It definitely resonated with me in a way, for sure. But I know this is like been said, beaten to death. But just as the game goes on, the soundtrack is insane. There were several times in the last 2 hours where the score just picks up even more, and I just would just sit in the area I was in and listen to the music because it's unreal. It's a weird game because there's so much I like about the game, and then there's some just super weird stuff with the story. I just wish I would have prepared myself for how weird the game was, because I was kind of thinking it was going to be a straightforward story and I was going to really understand everything that's going on, but that really isn't the case. So I look forward to reading some more things and listening to other things that from the older games, Nier, and another game called Drakengard. One of the creator of this game's older games has to do with this game and stuff. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff. But it really is good. And there is the D ending, or D or E ending, I believe, does something that is really unique and cool that I don't want to spoil. And even if I spoiled it for you, it really wouldn't make any sense anyways. But it has to do with completely deleting all of your save data. The game gives you the choice of deleting everything you've done and transferring it to another character just to help them out at the ending as well. And that's just a really cool thing. And there's more to it than that, but it's just really unique and interesting. But I really do like the game. I can say that. I would give it a
5 out of 10.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't even know. I'm so glad I don't have to rate games, because this game would drive me bonkers on what to actually rate it.
Mm-hmm.
But are you gonna finish it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took a break from it this week just because I don't know. Like I said, I was watching a lot of Overwatch League. That took a lot of my time, and I was playing Overwatch on top of that, and I was jumping into Zelda a little bit, so I didn't really touch Nier, but I do want to get back to it. Yeah. I'm in the 3rd playthrough. I'm starting to play as 9S.
Okay.
I started playing as the other character.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing as...
No spoilers.
Yeah.
You're on the final playthrough.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's a little longer, and then there's a choice at the end that you have to make both choices to overall the ending. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, it gives you a final choice at the end, and I stared at the screen for like 5 minutes. I had no clue what to do. It stressed the crap out of me. But yeah, that I don't know. I can't even really talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil anything. Yeah. And it's just so story-wise, it's so weird, and I have so many questions. But it's definitely a game that there's a lot of meaning to it. It doesn't explain things outright to you. There's just, you have to really think about a lot of stuff in the game. But yeah, overall, I highly enjoyed it, and I actually want to play through it again, knowing the things that I know about it. Kind of like, you know, when you played through BioShock Infinite again, knowing the big twist in that game, how you can kind of see things as you go that make more sense to you. It's kind of the same deal with this game, knowing there's a really big twist revealed at the end, and I would love to play through the game knowing that and kind of see if I can catch some things. But anyways, that's not the only game that kind of stuck in my brain this past week or two. I finished in one sitting Doki Doki Literature Club.
There you go.
Yeah, that man, that game is something else. It's really, really cool. It's, you know, it's definitely a something different than I've ever played, for sure. That's all I mean, people have it's
very hard to talk about.
It's hard to talk about, but that's the thing, is because nobody talks about it, obviously if you're going into the game, you know something's going to be weird with it, and there definitely is something weird with it. The thing that is almost cooler than the game itself is what the game actually is. And Jacob, I don't know if you've done this, but have you looked into like the game theory for this game? It's insane. Yeah. It blew my mind what this game actually is.
It's almost a must that you have to watch like videos about it after you play it.
Yeah, and I know that sounds like weird. That's the thing. What's cool is the game is cool in itself. Like you can just play the game and not read anything and enjoy it. But if you read some things and watch these videos that people have put together for what the game actually is, it's insane that a lot of what this game is right in front of you. You just really don't pay attention to it if it makes sense. Like there's a ton of clues that are hinting to what this game actually is, but it just completely flew over my head. I wasn't really digging into this game. So yeah, highly, I know everybody's said this a million times, but definitely play the game and watch the game theory videos on it. I know there's like 2 videos. They're like 10-15 minutes a piece, but man, it's really crazy. So I beat that, and then I jumped into the next thing on my backlog, which is The Evil Within 2. That game's fantastic. I think I'm kind of wrapping it up a little bit. I'm in chapter 11. I think there's 16 chapters, so I'm kind of getting towards the end, but that game is really fantastic. I'll probably beat that in the next couple of days. Gives me Resident Evil 4 vibes big time. And I like that a whole lot. And that's pretty much the only narrative things that I'm getting through. But I've played a ton of Rainbow Six Siege. I bought the Year 2 pack. Got a bunch of Year 1 characters as well. And I keep getting drawn back to that game whenever I need a break from any of the narrative games I'm playing. I just hop back on that. Even by myself, I'm having an absolute blast. This is definitely the most addicted I've been to a multiplayer shooter in a very long time. It's just so good. And you've talked about it a ton, and I pretty much agree with everything you said. Just that adrenaline rush you get playing those matches where you're just, you know, any second you could be killed, but you know, you're just peeking around every corner, and you know that you're so vulnerable, you know, wherever you are, you just die so fast, and you know, you're jumping over, you know, you're one window jump away from landing on a trap or something. You just you have to be, you know, on edge the entire game, or you're not going to, you know, do good for the most part. But it's so awesome. I'm loving that game so much, and it's so fun to play with other people. That's just the teamwork and stuff. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I mean, I like Overwatch and stuff, but this is kind of more up my alley, you know, just a military shooter like this, and picking classes and stuff. Yeah, I'm just enjoying it a whole lot, so I look forward to hopping back into that.
Likewise.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I played. I beat Mario Story Mode.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought the ending was really cool. I thought, not to spoil anything, but I thought something was going to happen, and when it didn't happen, it made me sad. So I thought Nintendo finally was going to do it, but they didn't.
No. Keeping that tradition alive.
I guess so. But yeah, that's pretty much all I played.
Nice. I also played Siege. I won't say too much more than what you already said, but I also picked up the Year 2 operators finally. So in this moment, I have all the operators, but nice. I think the Year 2 operators are my favorite so really, far. Really cool.
Are you going to pre-order Year 3?
I might as well.
Yeah.
Probably will soon. But yeah, I love, like you said, the moment-to-moment gameplay in that game is exhilarating all the time. So much fun. I think I like defense more than I do offense, because I just love hearing people trying to break into where you are, and just like hearing people walk in the room above you, and you know that, oh, they're about to blow in through the roof, and the hole gets blown in, like grenades throw in, and unless you have a Jaeger and it disables all the grenades. Just so many possibilities each round depending on who everyone's picked. And I've been playing on offense a bit, a lot of the Year 2 people as well, but I started playing as Blitz a little bit because I just love running into a room with a shield and just 3 people shooting me at once, and just guys hiding behind me and bullets ricocheting off my shield while people shoot everyone in the room. And I like just having my pistol, and if you time it right, when people go to reload, you can just quickly drop your shield, pop someone with a pistol, and throw it back up. Very satisfying. So much fun in that game. I can't wait to go back to it. I think I might play it a bit tonight with one of my buddies from church I was working with, who's been Tucker. You know Tucker. He's a huge Siege fan too, and he hadn't played in like a week or two. And I started talking about it on PC. Yeah. Okay. And he's like, dude, I want to play that so bad. I'm like, let's play tonight. So I think we're gonna get on later. It's gonna be fun.
Nice.
But aside from that, I played
another guy. I might be on.
Oh, absolutely. I would. The more the merrier in that game, like you said. Also played a bit of PUBG for a stream a couple nights ago with Irish Ninja. Dusty was there. Who else was there? Forgive me. I can't remember who all was there. But there was a full squad of us for a little while, and we played some awesome rounds in PUBG. I think the best round I've played to date with other people was on the desert map. I got 5 kills at the beginning. Somehow survived multiple firefights in this one area we had dropped in. There were like 10 people had dropped. It was a massive battle, and I managed to survive. I was the one survivor, and I think I died 2 minutes later, but that one battle was exciting. And that whole stream, even though it was a little rough because I was having to run off Wi-Fi because I had to order a new Ethernet cable, even though it was a rough stream quality-wise, I think I'm going to edit it into a highlight because there were so many funny moments. I thought that would be good for a highlight video. So it might be our official first stream highlight video with that stream we did. But that was super fun. I also want to play PUBG with you again because we had a lot of fun, you, me, and Jay, and that for a little while. So I'd like to jump back into that. It's fun because Siege is so hard for me to get away from. I mean, it's one of those games that I'm over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, just one more match. All right, just one more match, and I'll play till 7 a.m.
And it's the first game in a long time or first multiplayer shooter that I've played in a while where I'm actually progressing towards something, and which makes me want to, if I have time to play an online shooter, I want to play Siege because I know I'm getting reputation and I can get other things. Whereas, PUBG, you're dead.
Try again.
Yeah, you're just dead. Try, like you said, it's even like Battlefront, which, I'll kill me, but I'll randomly play some matches of that as well. But I don't care about the progression system. I haven't actually cared about a progression system in a shooter in forever. So just having that hook on me from Siege is drawing me back to it a lot.
Yeah.
The rewards are really cool in Siege. You get camos and charms. And,
a lot of ways to customize your weapons too.
Yeah.
I meant to say in that PUBG stream, I think it was the final round we played. We made it to number 2. And I think I was the final survivor against one other guy, and it was the coolest thing is the circle happened to be in the middle of a giant valley with 2 huge cliffs on either side. So we were having like sniper battles across this open valley in the desert map, and it was epic. And I somehow was the last one to survive. I thought I had killed everyone in this squad, and there was one guy clearly left. I just didn't know where he was. And he was hiding behind something, and he killed me. And it sucked to die, but it was cool because when he shot me, I just tumbled down this massive mountain, just like thousands of feet all the way down. It was a cool death, but I was very upset that once again I came that close and lost. So I've yet to win that chicken dinner, but when we do, it's for the entire OG community. We must feed them. Now, many in the OG community have already won chicken dinners, which is great, but we have not. So.
We'll get one. We'll get one day.
We've tasted victory one too many times. Like Georgia coming that close to winning the national championship, like the Falcons coming that close to winning the Super Bowl. We've got to win that chicken dinner in PUBG.
We'll get that.
We can't fail Georgia like the rest of the teams here.
That chicken dinner is almost the same thing as those other things.
It is. You're right.
Yeah, it's on the same level.
Absolutely.
Really quick, I was listening to a podcast and I had like an hour left and I wanted to play something that I didn't have to pay attention to. So I booted up Destiny 2 on the old PC and played that for about an hour.
Sounds boring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was Destiny.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have the urge to play it, but I didn't have the urge to not play it either. So it was the only thing.
It feels great on PC.
Oh yeah, it's incredible to play. I had to get to level 11 to go to what's that last planet? Io. Yeah, so I just flew there.
Great music
doing
there.
some story missions. And
Very
stuff.
Witcher skeleton inspired music.
I'm waiting. I'm sure we'll get. Are we gonna get into the Destiny update stuff?
I didn't even put it on here because I couldn't care less.
Okay.
We can talk about it if you want.
It's a lot of stuff.
I did read all of it.
I read it and it made me think, well, maybe this might get on track again. So
that's the thing.
I guess
they shouldn't even have to be doing this. That's the sad part. Like they shouldn't even have to be doing this right now.
While we're on the subject, there's a lot of great things in that update.
Yeah.
But I just still find myself not caring.
Again, it is
at
a
all.
complete repeat of Destiny 1.
Yeah, they're basically just putting shit in the game that should have been there to start with, or that were in Destiny 1.
The way that I'm thinking about it is, okay, fix all this stuff and just make sure the next content drop, the next piece, is just so good that all this stuff like... Because if they just add all this stuff and it's the same content we have, then I really don't care. But with this stuff and new content that's really good, that'll definitely probably draw me back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they delay the next expansion because of all this.
For sure. We need another Taken King. And then when Destiny 3 comes out,
inevitably
we'll do the same process all over.
We'll just lose all our shit again.
I meant to tell you, I finished Jason Schreier's book. And Destiny's chapter in particular, I think I texted you guys this. After reading that full chapter, it is not even a slight surprise as to why Destiny's in the shape that it's in. Even in Destiny 2, it all started with before Destiny 1 it was even finished.
Each game
it has been a disaster from the start.
Leadership, like midway through the game.
Not only that, Bungie staff, we were right in assuming that I don't think a single Bungie veteran from the Halo days has left at Bungie. It's like all new people. It's just the same name. And they won their independence back from Microsoft because Microsoft had purchased them for Halo. And after Halo 3 launched, they were independent again and like, well, crap, what now? And they, started working on concept stuff for Destiny 1, and Activision signed the $500 million contract for 10 years of Destiny content. That included multiple games. And the entire development process was just disastrous. I mean, Destiny 1 was also finished in like 16 months because they just couldn't decide on certain things, and certain milestones could never be hit. And obviously a lot of staff either quit or were fired. Luke Smith, interestingly enough, I didn't know this, was one of the designers of Destiny 1, and he was such a big fan, and he logged so many hours that somehow between those two things he became the game director of Destiny 2. No, I think
he wasn't even leading Destiny 2 to begin with. He
took over like halfway through.
Months.
And that's why Destiny 2 had a bunch of issues, because they had to, in a lot of ways, restart.
Yeah.
And that's why it feels so similar.
So much from the first game.
Yeah, and I bet Activision, dude, just wants to kill Bungie, just based on some of the ways they say Activision would react to like the problems they're having, and still to this day the problems they're having. I'm surprised Activision doesn't like find a way to tank Bungie at this point, because they're dropping the ball big time. Now, granted, Destiny 2's made a lot of money for Activision, but in the long run, people are just not happy with it at all. So I don't know how it's going to pan out. But I mean, I don't want Bungie to fail, because like I said, I love Bungie, but again, they're not the same team they were back in the day.
I mean, I guess it just shows how ignorant I am, and I don't know how it works. But it just seems like Activision, with how just with all the power they have and all the money they have, just to be like, just fix it, make it good. Like, I just don't see you have the money and the resources to get the most talented people in the industry, just like fix the game.
Sometimes it just feels like, because it's Activision Blizzard, right? Because it just kind of feels like Blizzard's kind of carrying Activision at this point. Because when I think of Activision, I don't think of anything that I enjoy from them anymore. If you think, like, if I think about it,
Call of Duty makes them make
Call of Duty's on the
makes,
downward trend. Destiny's just in a really bad
It's on the downward trend.
When it sold the most this year.
Selling game every single year.
Now, you would seem like, based on morale on the internet, you'd think it would be, but sales don't reflect that at all.
That's a good point. I shouldn't have said that.
We live, like I say, with all these games, we live in this tiny echo chamber of gamers that think that they're the voice for everybody, and outside of that, it's
so much bigger.
Kids at high school that aren't on forums and on YouTube comments downvoting stuff that get Call of Duty every single year. They get Madden every single year.
There are probably some people that play Destiny 2 that are totally unaware of like the fan backlash.
For sure.
It's ironic you say that, because Zach, one of our good friends, like he's tired of playing Destiny too. Like, I was talking to him the other day. He was complaining about the same things that I have a problem with.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm sure that
Destiny.
People that are if you're into Destiny and you get to the end game and stuff, obviously you're gonna get bored. I don't care if you're in the forums and disgusting and stuff.
I was also kind of shocked that he's been playing Destiny too.
Yeah,
he hated he didn't really give the first one a try.
He said he's been playing PUBG on Xbox a bit. He says they've won multiple times. Wow.
Surprised he hasn't played with Evan yet.
I don't know if he has or not.
I mean, Evan hasn't brought it up to me. I know everything.
Do you?
Yeah.
I would.
What number am I thinking of right now?
8.
Close. Very close.
Do you have a PUBG Xbox code?
I do still.
You do? Mm-hmm. Have you downloaded it?
No.
Okay. You should download it one day. I just want to see it. I haven't seen it with my own eyes or played it.
You're better off not.
I want to try.
Don't do it.
I want to try it.
It'll take years off your life.
Oh, really?
If you play it.
I just downloaded on my Xbox One S the Master Chief Collection and Halo 5. Keep forgetting to do that, so I downloaded them. I haven't played them yet, and I don't know when.
I've been talking to the community about playing some Halo.
Okay.
I'd like to play some Halo.
I would play.
I mean, it is something it isn't something I do regularly, but every now and then, if someone wanted to play, let's jump in and play some Halo 3 or some Halo 5, I would totally play it.
Yeah.
So
I like Halo 5.
You and I were hooked for a little while.
Oh yeah, we were really playing Halo 5 a ton.
Yeah.
For a while there.
We were, man. We were.
Yeah.
I also played Metro 2033 a bit more. I've been playing that game in about 30-minute spurts. I definitely enjoy Last Light a lot more, I've realized, in 2033. I think 2033 is just much slower than Last Light. Last Light's very action-packed compared to 2033.
Last Light's definitely better.
But I'm still enjoying the atmosphere and the world of 2033 and a lot of creepy creatures as well. Still haven't hit those librarians, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting close. Funniest part about those games are the voices of the children, because it's clearly a grown man trying to do a child's voice, and it's just... Like, I know you're a grown man speaking to me as a child right now.
Now, is it Last Light where you have to carry the child through?
That's 2033.
That's 2033. Okay.
I just did that.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that part.
My papa said you're going to help me out of the cave from the monsters. I'm like, just get a child. Like, bring your kid into the studio and have him read these lines. So,
have you done the part where you have to set up a turret down like a big hallway and those rat things run at you?
I have.
You have done that part? Okay. Those are like that and the ending are in the librarians. Those are like the 4 moments I remember from 2033.
Yeah. And it's funny that all those moments you've mentioned so far are like the only ones I remember.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad game at all. But from jumping from
Last Light
the
is
sequel,
just so much better.
Yeah, jumping from the sequel to the first game, you can tell they just made leaps and bounds with the second one.
Just everything is amplified in Last Light.
Yeah, which has me
mainly
stoked for Exodus.
The stealth mechanics in Last Light are light years better.
I love the stealth in Last Light.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement for Exodus. No.
You take a picture?
Totally on the hype train.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for Exodus.
Yeah. I played Wildlands a bit as well. I'm really, really enjoying Wildlands on PC, even playing by myself. I just love decking out my character with all the cool clothing and accessories you can do. I downloaded all the free Uplay stuff like the Splinter Cell costume, the Assassin's Creed costume, the Division costume. I don't wear any of them, but they're cool to have.
I would wear the Splinter Cell one.
It's cool, yeah, especially for like night missions and stuff. But I just love that classic Ubisoft gameplay loop where you just go to a base and mark everyone and go in and stealth kill them. I love that.
Now, granted, you told me to buy it, and I did buy it because it was on sale on the Uplay store. I wish it was on Steam, but whatever. It's the same thing. But I downloaded the free trial about 2 days before and played it for about an hour and a half, and it just didn't hook me. And I don't know why, because it's fun. Like, it was fun, but the only thing that and the reason I bought it is because the only thing that kind of is drawing me to it is just playing with you.
Yeah, I think you and I could have a lot of fun with it because there are a ton of different activities to do. Like there's the steal the vehicle. Now this is just me scratching the surface because I barely played the game, but yeah, there's the steal the vehicle side missions. There are the destroy the convoy that's driving by any means necessary. There are like I said, infiltrating a base and stealth killing everyone, and then customizing and unlocking new guns. And I did the Predator event where you kill Predator, and that was a bitch of a boss battle, dude. Holy crap, that was annoying. And it wasn't that it was really difficult. There's just some really cheap moments where he uses his laser targeting system, and it's so quick that if you're not behind something or if you're too close to something, the laser hits, it will kill you because it's an AoE effect. And it was just so frustrating because if you get hit by it twice, you die. And you can make it all the way through the boss battle, which takes forever because the first sequence of his boss battle, he just tries to tease you and annoy you the whole time. And he doesn't really do anything but like run around invisible and like make noises to be like, oh, it's Predator. You just have to stand there and wait for him to get to his second wave of attacks. And that takes like 5 whole minutes to get there. And then by the time you get there, that takes forever. And if you don't make it all the way through that part, then he kills you. You have to start all the way over. It was annoying. But I will say the mission was very cool because it was just like the movie, because you get into the jungle and you find this girl who's covered in blood and like dead bodies are littered around her. She's like, it killed him. It killed him. And it's like straight out of the movie. Your guy's like, what killed him? She's like, the jungle. It came to life and killed him. You're like, what the hell's happening? So then 3 markers pop up on your map. And you have to go investigate all of them. And one of them is a big shrine of skulls and spines, like from the movie. They're like, what the hell did this? And they're like, you think it's cartel? And they're like, no way, man. It's too surgical. It's too clean. I'm like, what the hell is this? So you go over to the other marker, and then there's the skinned human bodies hanging from trees. They're like, what the hell? And I even have a cigar in my guy's mouth, so I'm like, shit, son. So, and the thing is, funny accessory, you have this big fat cigar in your mouth where you're playing like smoke coming out of it constantly. But last one, you get to the last marker, is the crashed spaceship, and the music the whole time is like the conga drums from the movie and everything. I'm like, it's so atmospheric because you feel like you're playing Predator, the video game. It's the coolest thing. And you hear like weird noises in the trees around you the whole time. He's trying to creep you out and everything because you know he's like hunting you the whole time, just watching what you're doing. And you finally get to the last area where he spawns and screams and runs around the forest invisible and jumps up into trees and stuff. And he'll occasionally, like I said, spawn and target one of your teammates and try to shoot you. And yeah, it was hard, but I found a little patch in the forest where you have a lot of good cover, and I ended up beating him. But it was cool because whenever you shoot him, like the neon blood will fly out everywhere, so you know you're doing damage to him. And it was fun because when you finally down him, he goes down on his knees and takes off his mask, and it's just like the movie again, where you walk up to him and he starts doing his wrist thing, and he starts laughing like from the movie. They're like, oh shit, run! You have to run out of the big giant circle before it blows up and it does the big explosion. And if you beat him, you get his mask that has, if you have thermal vision unlocked on your character, when you wear his mask, it's exactly how it is in the movie, where it's slightly enhanced, but it also has the same audio effect that he hears when he's wearing it, and it just looks badass. But I see a lot of complaints, though, because there's the mask that looks cool, but you can also, if you pay $20, you can get his like his wrist guards and his actual helmet with the dreads, which looks way cooler, but it doesn't have the thermal effect. It's just for looks. So people are upset about that, but that whole mission was just very cool to do because it felt like I was playing Predator, the video game.
That's cool.
It was awesome. So having a lot of fun with that. I think you and I can have a good time if we team up.
For sure.
And I was going to ask, does it look gorgeous on your computer? Because it looks amazing on mine, and mine isn't even half as pretty as your monitor.
Yeah,
it looks incredible on mine.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And I meant to say, my monitor, obviously, it's not astounding by any means, but I was not using it to its full potential because there were several settings on the monitor itself that I had turned off that enhanced everything a bit, especially in terms of color and fidelity. So I upped it a little bit, and everything looks pretty good. I'm happy with the way it looks, so I don't feel like I need to upgrade anytime soon. But ever since I had a taste of your 4K, I was like, that's quite nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I can't max everything out, obviously, because it's such a massive game. But I still, in 4K, I have to tone some stuff down to high. I can't do ultra very high, and just to have a stable 60. But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. Even Metro Redux looks really solid as well.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty game on the 360. That those guys have always had pretty games.
They do a good job.
They do.
Yeah. Aside from that, video game related stuff I've going on, I will be in Los Angeles again Friday playing a game called SOS from Outpost Games. And it's basically a battle royale themed in a reality TV show like Survivor.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, where you spawn with, I think it's 30 other people on an island, and there are also a bunch of monsters and creatures running around, and the whole goal is to escape from the island, but only 3 people can escape to be victors. And you can either team up with a couple people, or you can just run out on your own, and you have to survive against other players and monsters alike on this island by looting and finding stuff. And the trailer for the game looks pretty funny, but it's supposed to be this big media multiplayer day in Los Angeles that I'm going to do, and then there's something going on after that. I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty fun, so I think it'll be a fun time. But I'll be doing that this weekend, so that'll be fun. That's all I have going on in video games at the moment.
Very cool. Jacob?
Both just look at me. I briefly mentioned what I was playing when Preston was speaking, but I played more Overwatch this week. I did a stream on almost a week from when this is going live last Tuesday. Streamed some GTA Online. Basically what happened was Mr. Maybe and Kyle just taxied me around and made me lots of money. That's basically all that happened. I have no idea what's going on in the game. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to get a vehicle. I don't know how to do anything.
When do you do a heist with Jacob?
I got money though, so that's better than nothing.
You gotta buy a garage and then get a car.
How do I get a house?
You always use your phone.
Yeah,
you just use your phone for
there's a real estate
like real life, man.
Okay.
That you buy your property.
Oh, I remember that from when I used to play GTA. Okay. But yeah, I guess it was nice to be back. I mean, I don't know what's going on, so I need to play it more.
We owe our YouTube channel a heist video. I think the 3 of us and Kyle should team up and do a heist.
That'd be funny.
Kyle's got all that sweet moolah, so he can host us again.
He was trying to do a heist when I was streaming, but he didn't have enough money, so he might not have enough money to do one.
He's broke now. He's one of us.
He is. And he just needs to buy a shark card.
Yeah. Did you see that headline that GTA's Online's player count was the highest it had ever been in its history over Christmas? That's amazing.
That's insane.
Oh,
insane.
Probably a lot of that's due to the sale they had.
Mr. Maybe has this bike that you can fly on.
Yeah, those are great.
And I tried it out. It's so fun.
It is.
I also flew and crashed, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But it was just cool because me and Kyle were driving in a car on the highway, and he was just flying above us, going through billboards and shit. It was
That's
funny.
Hilarious.
But besides that, I started the Champions Ballad DLC this week, and it's pretty cool.
Did you make it all the way through the one-hit obliterator part?
Yeah, I got through all that.
Nice.
Okay. Some parts of that were frustrating, especially some of the lizards that could shoot like ice or fire at you.
I just stealth killed everyone in that part.
That's what I had to do basically. I used a lot of arrows to take out a lot of guys.
Yeah.
But I'm working on the Gerudo. The 3 things there, and I did the seal surfing one first, and that one was easy. Now I'm literally I saved right before I have to fight the thing that's underground in the sand, so I'm excited to fight that because I fought.
It took me forever to kill that thing.
He was hard to kill.
Yeah.
Use explosive arrows if you have them.
Yeah, I have 10 of those, but I heard that bombs work to get him out of the sand. So
it'll kind of stun him a little bit.
Yeah, I can go up there and whack him. So I
broke 30 weapons fighting that thing.
Nice. Oh wow!
I fought him for so long that my master sword I think recharged 2 full times just to kill him.
I mean, if you're on a platform or a high surface, it can't really get you. So
it wasn't a hard battle. It just took so long. Yeah. I felt like I was literally whacking him with a Nerf sword.
Yeah, apparently he has a lot of health. But I'm excited to get back to that. It's a fun game.
My favorite part during the one-hit obliterator section was the test of might challenge, because they kind of trick you. And I thought that was really cool.
I'm trying to remember what you do at that part.
I think it's called a test of strength or test of might.
When you fight one of those robot things?
The reoccurring ones, how they kind of put a little spin on it.
Yeah, little mini guardians.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the spin on it was.
It's just, because typically you've been playing those the entire game where they just throw you in and you fight one enemy and you have the one-hit obliterator. So the second I went into one of those shrines, I was thinking, okay, well, this is going to be over in 5 seconds, but it's not.
I think the first thing I
have
did
no
was
memory of what happens.
I think the first time I fought him, I died because he shot me.
Okay.
Then the second time I tried, I ran behind like one of those pillars. Then he shot me. Then I went up and whacked him.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys don't remember?
No.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. So.
Is it cool?
Yeah,
I
thought
don't
it was
remember
cool.
at all.
Okay.
Oh wait,
okay, well, I'm gonna
I do
spoil
remember.
Yeah, spoiler. I don't know what it is.
There's more to it.
Yeah, you kill the guy and then you have to go underground.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was really
I didn't think of that kind of.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm saying I liked how they probably played. They probably like messed with you, thinking that well, I've done a million of these. I'm just gonna kill this one guy. But
that was fun because I forgot there's like 1,000 more down there.
Yeah.
I also
like
enjoyed the one where you had to
there.
like hit the ball, like you had to hit like a golf ball or something and make it in the little hole.
That was a fun one.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember that.
One.
The motion control ones in the DLC, I think, are fine. They're not hard at all. I heard some people complaining about them. But.
Yeah, none of
Dude,
them
the
really
things I would do with my controller and those motion controls are ridiculous. I mean, I'm talking like completely holding it upside down and backwards to complete them like this.
Yeah, I can imagine if you're
the screen's upside down.
If you're on handheld, that might get a little crazy. But with like a pro controller, it was really.
I mean, if you're on handheld, you have to roll around on the floor like a caterpillar in some of those motion control sections just to get through them.
I haven't done that yet.
But yeah, that's all I played.
Yeah, try doing that on an airplane. It's impossible.
They should at least make it where you can use your thumbstick.
You're like leaning back behind yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much what it is.
That's funny.
So I think I'm going to pick up Mario Rabbids for my trip this weekend and play that a bit.
Hey, you got the DK DLC.
Coming soon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
are we talking about that?
Yeah, later on.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
I liked that. The Nintendo Direct got me pumped.
I thought it was fine for a mini Direct.
Yeah,
I did not watch it. I just read the stuff afterwards.
Well, it was it wasn't really live. It was just a series of. It was just one video. It was like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, there was one thing.
Those are exciting though when they come out.
But we'll talk about it when we get there.
The Switch is just it sucks now.
Yeah, it does. It's just awful.
Everyone hates it. I hate it. You hate it.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we jump into this?
What about you, Jacob? I don't think so.
I'm ready to jump into the news.
This is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games, obviously. You can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. If YouTube is not good for you, or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast weekly at iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services. Please check the links down below please check the description down below for links to our social media pages, our Discord channel, and timestamps to skip throughout the podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously, and we would forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
This is also the show that's infamous for providing its intro an hour into every single episode.
Absolutely.
If you didn't know what the show is, you'll know by the time you're an hour into it. So, gentlemen, the Coalition is rumored to be working on a new IP in collaboration with a Microsoft-owned studio called Storylab. The story comes from Mario Brash of COD Connected. I figured we could speculate on this a bit and what we'd like to see if this is reality. It says, quote, as revealed on their website, Microsoft-owned company Storylab is now working on a new project with the Coalition. You'll remember the latter for their work on Gears of War 4 and Gears of War 4 Ultimate Edition, but the Coalition had assistance in certain areas of production, Storylab wrote. Quote, as an official vendor to Microsoft's The Coalition, the Storylab has supplied a wide range of services to the gaming giant, including motion capture services, casting services, stunts and performers, production crew, payroll services, production consultation, etc. End quote. Thus, speculation pointed to the Coalition working on a new Perfect Dark or possibly Fable? That's the end of the story. What do you think they could be working on, gentlemen?
Microsoft's Battle Royale.
With the Coalition.
Didn't the Coalition announce that they're working on another Gears of War?
They did. I think they're working on Gears content.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't. Apparently, Gears 4 is a big success for them, and I was unaware of that.
I swear I saw that they are working on another Gears game, or another game in that franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is.
One would assume it's Gears 5, which
it's got
story-wise, I'm not really excited for. Now, I enjoyed Gears 4 very generally. It didn't blow me away. I was like, that was a fun Gears game. But I think critically it did well. Gears 4 did well.
I'm still trudging through that. I need to put that on my list of stuff I need to finish because I got to like Act 2 or 3 or something. But
there are some fun moments towards the end in the campaign.
I was turned off. There were 2 parts so far where you just have to set up and it's horde mode. It's exactly
there is a lot of that in the game,
and
it's like a giant advertisement for that game mode in multiplayer. So. Oh well, there are some fun moments. So I've always hated fighting robots, so I wasn't a big fan of the DBs in the game. Yeah. Story-wise, I thought it was an interesting idea, but gameplay, like execution-wise, I didn't enjoy it very much. Yeah. Very much reminded me. I think they're called the Prometheans in Halo 4 and 5, which I just hate robots. I know they're not technically robots in Halo, but if they look like robots and sound like robots, to me they're robots. Yeah. So, but we'll see. Do you have any history with Perfect Dark whatsoever?
I tried to rent the game at Blockbuster, but my mother wouldn't let me because it was rated M. So nice. I remember seeing that box art. I actually have Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64 when I was trying to, back years ago when I was trying to collect every retro console and I was just buying everything. I bought a Nintendo 64 with GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, and Ocarina of Time, and I put Perfect Dark in to try it out, and you need the expansion pack to play that game, and I don't have one of those, so I really have never played it before. I did play the second one on the 360. I think it's Perfect Dark 0, and I
remember that.
I really didn't like it that much. I don't think anybody liked it that much. It wasn't really received very well, but that's pretty much my only experience with that franchise. I'd be way more interested if... Not that I think this is not likely at all. Well, did you say that the Coalition might be working on a Fable game?
Yeah, apparently that's speculation. I don't know who would speculate that, but I couldn't ever see them being granted access to making a Fable game. Not that I wouldn't have faith in them, because they're a very competent developer. I mean, they've made one of the best third-person shooter franchises of all time. But again, Fable... Yeah, well, Coalition, I mean, Epic Games originally, but I mean, a lot of Epic Games.
I mean, the Coalition isn't Epic Games.
No, but Rod Ferguson, was with Epic Games.
The director of the... Okay.
So he's still at the helm and like at the root of Gears of War. Okay. So, I mean, Fable's obviously completely different, but I also think Fable is in need of like that specific European flair to it. Yeah. So I think that's what's charming about it. So,
Fable needs to be rebooted.
Absolutely.
I want a new Fable.
I mean, it has
so bad.
major potential, especially after all they've potentially could have learned off all the other open world RPG games we've received since Fable 3, even for that matter. So I have so much hope in the next Fable game. So hopefully whoever's hands it lands in, they do it justice.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, I mean, it's like I want Peter Molyneux to be there, but Peter Molyneux reminds me of George Lucas. How George Lucas just lost his way with the Star Wars prequels. Peter Molyneux after Fable 2 lost his way with Fable. I mean, I think he would just say things and then he would just hope it's like Michael Scott where he says, sometimes I start a sentence and just hope I make it to the end of it or whatever he says. I feel like that was Peter Molyneux with a lot of the stuff he said about Fable before Lionhead went down. But and we'll see. Yeah. In time.
We'll see.
Call of Duty World War II's Nazi Zombies Darkest Shore DLC received a trailer. Did you guys see the trailer for this?
I did not.
It's a cool trailer. I don't know if I'm going to go back to Call of Duty or not. I very, very generally liked the campaign. I wouldn't even say I really loved it by any means. There were just some moments where I was like, oh, that was fun. But most of all, it was pretty disappointing, especially like we said, coming off of Infinite Warfare. Multiplayer, played a handful of matches, didn't really grab me. Not that I dislike Call of Duty. I think like I said, I've been playing a lot of Siege. I've been playing a lot of PUBG. That's the stuff that's grabbing me right now. But this DLC includes, I think, 3 new maps, and one of them is a war mode map. So just more Call of Duty for people that are enjoying it.
Releasing less multiplayer maps than they ordinarily do.
I guess so. But it's coming January 30th for anyone who's interested. And the trailer was cool. I mean, you and I played that one Nazi Zombies match where we made it like wave 26 on our first try or something. Yeah. It was fun, but after that I didn't feel like going back to it. Yeah. But trailer is really cool. I will give them that. So they do a good job with those.
I thought back on that undercover single player mission the other day.
Oh, that's the best mission in the game.
Yeah, that's a really cool mission.
What's the next zombie map? Like, what's the setting of this one?
It's on a beach, like a beach facility. It almost looks like D-Day in zombie mode.
That's kind of cool.
So it looked pretty cool. But
sweet.
I more than likely won't be playing it. Yeah, but it's happening.
I never gave that game a fair a fair shake.
I never gave. Yeah, me neither.
I liked what I played, but other stuff was out, so I really didn't get to fully commit to it.
Same with me.
But I like what I played.
You think you'll ever give World War II another shot, Jacob?
Doubtful. Very doubtful.
Doubtful.
You're working on building your Overwatch League team.
Yes. The Atlanta-based team.
Yeah, you need to draft me.
Okay.
Please.
I think Siege would make an excellent esport.
Oh, yeah.
I would watch people play Siege.
I would. It's so exciting.
Yeah. Let's start one.
Let's do it.
Atlanta-based Siege team.
Yeah.
We could be the wall smashers.
That works.
The Atlanta wall smashers.
The roof breakers.
Okay.
Or the peakers.
The Atlanta peakers.
I like that. Have a little peacock logo. Do these Overwatch League teams have substitutes? Like, let's say if someone's like throwing up, like, I am ill, I cannot play, throws up all over his keyboard, like, all right, Jerry, you're in.
You can have 12 people.
Really?
Yeah.
So do most of these teams have substitutes at the moment?
Most of them. There's Florida Mayhem doesn't have a single substitute.
Imagine like a shocking headline on Twitter, like so-and-so from Seoul, Korea is no longer a starter. Someone's filling in for him. He's like the young up-and-comer red shirt for Seoul Dynasty's Overwatch team. Comes in and like blows everyone out of the water. It's like the guy who came in for Alabama in the game. He's like this new prodigy.
Yeah, some teams have like people that aren't old enough to be in the league yet, so they're like on reserve, but they're still on the team.
Can you imagine like scouts coming to like a little mini esports Overwatch thing? Like, hey son, I want you to play for Dallas Fuel one day. You want to sign with us? And there's like another team that's really interested in him. Like, no, you want to come play for LA Valiant, boy. Yeah. Of course, they wouldn't say it there. They'd be like, come play for LA Valiant, dude.
Do you know what?
We'll get you a nice coffee.
Do you know what Contenders is?
I don't.
Overwatch Contenders is basically the league under Overwatch League, and it's basically
so it's like
a bunch of
the
esports
B League
teams like competing so that they'll be recognized to be drafted.
So it's like minor league baseball.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
And some teams have like these, what's it called? What did I just say it was called?
Contenders?
Contenders, yes, sorry. Some teams have Contenders teams just so they can bring up players to their own system.
Isn't Overwatch League implemented into Overwatch itself? Like, it can't people in competitive seasons like rank up their stats and maybe gain the attention of some teams?
No.
I want that boy from Kentucky to try out for the
you have to build your own
Dallas
team.
Outlaws or Houston Outlaws.
I mean, first things first, you have to be like Grandmaster or better.
Why does every team I've said have a Southern? Even Seoul, Korea, I gave a Southern accent. I just think of any coach as like a big Southern guy. So I've been coaching Overwatch for 20 years. So.
I mean, you kind of just have to be good at the game and then get recognized.
Is there like a Heisman Trophy for Overwatch League?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Imagine like a green coat ceremony at the end of every season.
I mean,
whoever
this is
the
inaugural season. I don't know.
Man, that's so cool.
We're way off track.
But also so funny. Let's talk about the Halo TV series that apparently is still in production. This comes from Anthony Backett.
This comes from Steven Spielberg.
Hopefully he's still involved. From COD Connected, he says, quote, Showtime president and CEO David Nevins was asked by TV Guide at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour whether the popular Microsoft property was still getting a TV series. He said that it's, quote, it's still very active development, but didn't comment further except to say that he has seen the scripts. The president of programming at Showtime, Gary Levine, had a bit more to share. He told TV Guide that the project is, quote, absolutely still in development, still moving forward, and I'm encouraged by what I've seen so far. While he couldn't provide a release window for it, when it would air, or how it would fit in within the series' complex lore, he added that it's still live action and it will definitely satisfy the fans of Halo, and I think also satisfy the drama audiences of Showtime. Spielberg may or may not still be attached as producer. So, gentlemen, as two somewhat Halo fans and then the one passionate fan at the table, what would you like to see in a Halo TV series? I don't think we need Master Chief. I think we need mention of Master Chief, but I don't even think we need to see him.
Something like Halo Reach, maybe. Just
I think Master Chief is great in the original trilogy, like I said, but I think what's even cooler about Master Chief is the legend of Master Chief. I like when people talk about him like I heard the chief was at that battle or something. Like, we wouldn't have survived if it weren't for the chief. Like, I'd like to just
It'd be cool if it was
talk
mentioned.
about him.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if it took place during the fall of Reach and you hear stories of Master Chief.
Yeah,
Like, I think that'd be so cool.
that would be cool.
Follow a central squadron of Spartans during the Battle of Reach. The whole season can be the Battle of Reach. And you can build amazing character development. I mean, it's basically Reach the video game, but you can have all new characters if you want. It could be an entirely different squadron for all we know. And you can, a lot of character development can happen there over the course of it. I would say 10 episodes would be solid for a season. I mean, that's always, between 8 and 10 is always what I've liked in series like this. But with the right budget, man, you could really do something awesome with this.
Can Master Chief have children?
I think they're all sterile.
They're sterile.
Yeah.
Why are they sterile?
They're just made to be killing machines.
Don't they want more of them though?
I think that's what they used to do is with the Spartan 2s and 1s and 2s specifically, they literally kidnapped children and then they replaced the children with clones of themselves that grew up as the normal version of them.
Really?
Yeah. Now, of course, they wouldn't have the emotional capacity of like their true selves, but they would just grow up basically emotionless. Mm-hmm. This is lore I've read. I'm not like a hardcore lore Halo guy, but what little I know is that that's what happened to Master Chief was one of those. And he was the chosen one by Halsey for his crazy capabilities and leadership qualities. And Cortana also, I think Cortana also chose him as well. That's why Cortana was like his specific AI. And now look what they've done with Cortana. It's a giant joke. But with the TV series, they could do...
Who's going to play Cortana?
Probably the voice actress herself.
I think Scarlett Johansson would be a good Cortana.
Maybe like the body of
Why would
Cortana.
Cortana
I think
be
the
in
voice
this?
would be Cortana herself if she was in this.
Why would she be in this?
Yeah, if she was the chief, I don't think she would be.
No, she'd be
We can't just cast people that wouldn't even be in the show.
This is what's so cool about a potential Halo series, though, is that if you start with the Fall of Reach, you can continue into whatever you want beyond that, into additional seasons with new characters, keep things interesting. So that's what I'd like to see is the Fall of Reach.
I wonder how the show would do if and when it comes out.
If they treat it...
Is it you said it was going to be on Showtime?
Right, yeah. Showtime produces good stuff. I think Showtime did Penny Dreadful. I think it was Showtime that did Penny Dreadful. If you've ever seen that show, just the quality of that show and the writing is really solid. Now, I had a very depressing ending because it was canceled out of nowhere, and I was not prepared for that at all because it seemed like a season... The pacing was so fast that I was confused, and the whole series ended, and I was like, what just happened? And I come to find out they had canceled the show. So that really sucked, but I think Showtime's capable of producing a really awesome show. And like I said, Spielberg was initially attached. I don't know if he still is, but I mean, that's the thing about Spielberg nowadays. He's really hit or miss with a lot of things. He hasn't really done anything in a long time that's been mind-blowing by any means. So... And granted, he wouldn't be directing any of this or writing it, but he'd be producing. He has producers. It's funny, before I started this pre-production class I'm in at school, I knew producers had a very, very prominent and heavy role in a film, but they are almost as responsible as a director and writer for the creative force.
They're like overseers.
Yeah, and they have a lot of influence as well, because at the end of the day, they are the one producing it, so they can call a lot of shots. I mean, obviously the director on set is calling all the shots, but the producer is responsible from the initial idea all the way till Blu-ray sales at the end. Like, they're there the entire time.
I like to think of a producer as like an organizer.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically
make sure everything's going how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's like the summarized term for producer. So I don't know, we'll see. But personally, Fall of Reach for me. Is there anything else you guys want to throw in there before we move on?
I mean, I forfeit my answer to you. You seem to know much more about it than I do.
Direction-wise, I'd love to see the Neil Blomkamp approach to it. A couple of the shorts he directed for Halo 3's marketing campaign are some of my favorite live-action Halo bits I've seen. I think they're awesome. They feel very grounded, very realistic, and a lot of the camera work feels. It's very... what do you call it? Not Steadicam, but I can't think of the term. Not like shaky where it's annoying, but you feel like someone's carrying the camera the whole time. I like that on the ground approach to the filmmaking of that. So I think that would feel really awesome in the TV show.
What was that short live action series they did?
They've done a couple. I know they did Forward Unto Dawn.
That's the one I'm talking about.
With the kids and the academy.
I liked that a lot.
I wouldn't want to see that in a TV show. Granted, because we've already gotten that in a short series, and they also did one other one, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
Well, I don't want to get my hopes up, but it would be so cool if it was so good that it would just be like one of the super popular shows that everybody talks about, that everybody's, like Game of Thrones, everybody's looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine everybody's looking forward to the Halo TV show? That'd be so cool.
That would be awesome.
But I don't think the chances are...
When Game of Thrones ends, there's
high.
not going to be a show that's great anymore.
I know Game of Thrones is has a lot of faith in Westworld and a lot of the handful of the spin-offs of Game of Thrones they have planned. I know they're working on that new, I think it's called Confederate show or something. What's it called?
Yeah. I think it's.
I know it took a while for Game of Thrones to kind of get popular, but Westworld doesn't really feel the same to me. In that.
Yeah, we'll see how season 2 plans
Just
it
that
pays
everyone
at
likes
or goes, because I thought season 1 was cool,
I did too.
but I'm interested to see where they take it after this.
When's it supposed to air?
I would assume
Sometime this year,
probably spring if I had to guess. So
Take the place of Thrones.
yeah, it will take the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones when it ends.
Yep.
So
My parents just started watching that.
Westworld.
No, Game of Thrones.
Oh really?
Yeah.
They're in for a wild ride.
I know.
Nice.
I hope they stick with it.
Yeah.
A dog has already died, and a horse is about to die, and I don't know if my mom can take that.
Right. So wait till she gets to that red wedding.
Oh yeah.
Granted, they're not animals, but there's some characters I grew genuinely attached to, and that rocked my world.
There are a lot of animals in that building. In that, throne room?
A few. Gentlemen,
Anyways.
let's talk about the Vive Pro. This thing looks pretty rad.
Yeah. I'm so glad I bought my Vive
Right.
less than a month ago.
The Vive Pro is coming. What were you going to say, Jacob?
I was going to say, tell me more about this, because I've been cut off from news all week.
This is like the VR dream realized. We'll see how it pans out.
The Pro? I don't know if it's that.
I'm saying like what everyone is hoping it eventually becomes, and is actually as effective as everyone's hoping it will be.
I already listened to some reviews for it.
Because that's the thing. Based on reading this, I figured right out the gate it's not going to be exactly what everyone's hoping in, but it's a step towards that direction is what attracts me to it. So the Vive Pro, I mean, this is just a handful of facts, like bullet points. I didn't take all of them because there's quite a few. But the big ones are, the redesigned face cushion for less light and more immersion. That's very general. Wireless, thanks to Intel's, I think it's...
Well, that's not exact. The Pro isn't wireless. You have to have an adapter to make it wireless, which can be used with both Vive headsets.
But it still doesn't have a cable coming from it, correct?
The
headset
Pro,
itself.
It does, yeah.
That's weird because all the advertisements had no cable there.
That's from what I read, and I could be wrong, there is a wireless attachment that hooks into it that can be used for both the Pro and the regular. Because if you just buy the Pro, it can be wired as well.
Interesting.
What if...
Because all the advertisements have people with no cables attached to it.
Yeah, because they're also advertising the wireless as well. But I think that's a separate thing you have to buy. I don't think it comes with the Pro.
But the fact that's an option is
it is
cool.
an option is cool.
Apparently has the most powerful audio and visual data transmission over 60 gigahertz. As the, I don't know how to pronounce this, the Li or Li ion battery powered for long hours of VR freedom, which I'd be puking everywhere if I played more than an hour. Built-in headphones, of course, that's normal for VR. I think the PSVR upgrade has built-in headphones, doesn't it? Is that out already, the PSVR upgrade?
I think so.
Okay. And it has the 2880 by 1600 combined pixels. Split that in half for each eye.
Wow.
And I like how it's just blue. It looks cool. So I think that's awesome. I wish I had a PC that could handle that. I don't at the moment, but I definitely want to make my way towards that being an option.
Your PC can do VR. It just some games.
Could it handle stuff like Fallout? I feel like that's super demanding.
So. Fallout 4 is really demanding.
I'd probably kill it. You think I'd have to upgrade the graphics card or CPU or probably both to handle that?
Probably both.
Over time.
Yeah, I definitely, if you're going to upgrade anything, the GPU right now. I can't find if, from everything I'm reading, is their wireless adapter works with both of its headsets. That's what they're saying. So I'm assuming that the Pro doesn't come with the wireless adapter. You have to buy it separately. But that's, based on the things I've read, that is the coolest thing that they show. Just because just knowing you don't have to worry about tripping over a wire automatically makes it more immersive, because you can freely, move and not worry
until you
about
smack your TV with one of the controllers.
Exactly. I did read that the resolution, while better, there is still a faint screen door effect, so it isn't perfected yet. Yeah. So that made me feel better about having the old one, because I play it frequently, at least like once or twice a week, but I'm not like, that's not like the only thing I'm playing to where I'm, so bummed that I didn't wait a little bit
HTC
just to get the
Vive Master Race.
Yeah, but I definitely am interested in the wireless adapter. I have a feeling it's probably going to be really expensive, probably like $200 or something is what some people were speculating.
Sounds worth it.
Ridiculous.
If I had the space, I'd love to have just a room dedicated to VR. If I had a fully wireless VR headset, that'd be great. Where you have at least like 8 or 10 feet in all directions. It'd be awesome. There's all the advertisements has a guy jumping around, flipping around and stuff. I was like, man, who has space for that in their house?
We'll see. I hope it's not that expensive, but
we'll find out soon. I imagine.
Definitely cool.
So we mentioned Escape from Tarkov earlier, very briefly. Do you guys know anything about this game aside from the title?
I know a little bit about it, just based on things that you've told me or shared.
Yeah, I mean, there are a million bullet points on their website. I'm talking every single solitary detail that's involved with the game. Long story short, I have just the description of the game without all the bullet points, but I have a few in my head that stand out that are cool. But it says Escape from Tarkov is a hardcore and realistic online first-person action RPG simulator with MMO features and a story-driven walkthrough. So it's kind of like PUBG, but I think there's also NPCs in the game where you're just this big place called Tarkov you're supposed to escape. There's a big story to it as well as just too much reading, but long story short is it's realistic to the point where you can be dehydrated. I think you can get hungry and thirsty, and like it's survival elements to it, but also your weapons are very realistic in the sense not only in customization but the way they fire and the way they can jam and get dirty and break. Ammo is also very deadly. I mean, if you shoot someone in the head, of course they're going to die instantly and you can steal all their stuff. But also, if you get shot in the leg and you manage to escape, it'll slow you down, but you can also bleed out over time if you don't fix that one specific wound. I think you can pull muscles, you can sprain certain things. There's like realistic injuries with your character as well. So it's supposed to be as realistic as possible as in a shooter.
So realistic, it's not even fun anymore.
I was just thinking that.
So that's what they mean by like hardcore online first-person shooter. But it has piqued my interest, not to the point where I want to jump into the closed beta for, I think it's $45 for the regular edition to jump in.
Is it going on right now?
Yeah, you can pre-order for $44.99.
Is this early access?
It's technically, I don't know if it's called early access. It's just it's guaranteed access to the closed beta that's happening. I imagine it'll make its way to open beta at some point.
I mean, if you have to pay $45, that makes it kind of sound like early access.
Yeah, but there's also a $74.99 version to gain access to the for the Left Behind edition, which includes a bunch of extra stuff.
Jeez.
But I was going to watch just a bunch more gameplay and see how I feel about it. If it gets really popular, maybe I'll try it. But at the moment, it's not really calling to me. But I thought it was a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
Just as realistic as they tried to make it. So it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'd like to hear if anyone from the community has tried it or if you're actively playing it, what you think about it. So someone from our own community, I'd like to hear your opinion. Cyberpunk 2077... their Twitter account was active for the first time since 2013.
You said beep.
Beep. Yep. Exactly. What do we think this means?
Beep-a-boop.
Do you think this means we're going to hear something soon?
I hope so.
I mean, why would they do that for no reason unless one of their employees was bored? And like, let's set the world on fire with this tweet.
Don't forget about us.
That could be, but I think realistically, well, actually, I don't know. That could be it, but I would like to think that they're going to do something.
I like to think of beep as
like it turned on.
Yeah, like something is turning on. Like, oh, it's time. It's awakening.
Yeah, I want that game a lot. I want it really
CD
bad.
Projekt Red, as we know, are some of the very best in the industry now. They have officially set the bar for what an open world RPG can be and what is expected to be these days, frankly.
I didn't say it in my thing, but I actually played a little bit of The Witcher this week as well.
Did you?
Ooh, yeah.
I just was waiting for something to update on Steam, and I have Witcher on GOG. So I just
it's a gorgeous game, especially on your rig, man. It's gorgeous.
It's just a fun
I'd love to
game.
see it on your PC.
It's pretty.
It's astounding.
It's just so fun.
It's okay.
No, it was pretty. But I was just that game's just so fun. Every time I can't play it for just a little bit, I always have to run around and fight stuff or just do something before I turn it off.
It's one of the chapters in Jason's book as well. Another great one. Just reading about their process of quest design and building their world. And they were, long story short, were just out to prove that a Polish developer can create games that can stand among Skyrim and Mass Effect and stuff. That was their goal. And they also were like...
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Right?
Who publishes their games?
WB.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, do they publish like Gwent too? Or is it
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
I just didn't know if WB publishes all their games. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, all they make is The Witcher.
Is that all they've ever made? I feel like they've made other stuff.
No.
No, it's all they made is 3 Witcher games, and Cyberpunk will be their first game out of the Witcher franchise.
Don't forget
The Witcher 1 is insane. Looking at gameplay from that game
and see how far they've come.
I watched like a walkthrough of that game on YouTube, and it's
rough.
It's come a long way.
I played a lot of that game. Like, I think I almost beat it on like 2 laptops ago on a piece of crap, and it was able to run on that thing. So I had to play it on like the lowest of low settings, and it looked like the worst thing of all, like a Nintendo 64 game pretty much.
You probably get it pretty cheap on Steam right now.
Oh, it was during the Steam winter sale. It was like 50 cents or something. I think it's still probably stupid cheap.
We will pay you to play this game.
It's not I don't know. It's so different from The Witcher 3. The combat style is there's like 3 different sword styles to switch between, if I remember, and you just click like in a rhythm, like when your sword hits. I think you have to click again or something. It's definitely different.
Yeah, like different fighting styles were better against certain enemies or something, or weapons you were using.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I remember there's one where he like gets super low and like wiggles his sword around. It looks ridiculous. Yeah, so I really want to recommend playing that. But Witcher 2, if you love Witcher 3, I would, even though the Witcher 2 is definitely, the combat's not as good, and it's not
a little more linear.
Open world. It's a little more linear. There's like 2 big-ish hub areas in the game, but it's still really good.
I only got about 10 hours into that before I stopped playing because something else came out. But I tried to play it before Witcher 3 came out. I watched a walkthrough of the rest, but the 10 hours I played were awesome.
Yeah.
So even after playing Witcher 3, I still feel that way.
Yeah, and I love there's a choice before the 3rd act. Depending on the choice you make, you spend the entire 3rd act in a completely different area, which is really cool.
We'll have the title of that game too, Assassins of Kings. Sounds badass.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, the writing team, I loved how their approach to everything was just so smart. It felt like a CD Projekt Red. Of course, their obvious goals that they excelled upon were we're never going to have. I mean, there was a couple quests that were probably forgettable, but most every quest you do, there's some sort of twist or event that you remember from quests. I mean, I remember a handful of quests that like blew my mind in that game, not only from like a writing standpoint, but things that occur that you just don't expect. Like the Red Baron quest line was fantastic, and that's one of the opening ones in the game, and that really sets the bar for the rest of the game. Even the side quests and like the random encounters you'll have along empty roads and stuff. That's another thing. They said they were horrified of having an empty world, so they had to master too much or too little of like the events of like, oh, bandits are attacking you, or this person's wagon was destroyed, help them hunt down the killer or whatever. Little events like that. But I
remember, sorry to interrupt you, but I remember how shocked I was, because I'm pretty sure the game, going back to the Red Baron quest, the witches of whatever they're called,
Crookbag Bog,
those old ladies or whatever.
I think like through the questing and just what people were saying in the game, like they kind of made them seem like they like aroused or seduced people, which is kind of what they did. But I was expecting them to be like, really like pretty witches or something, but they were just the exact opposite.
I think they could morph into
you're right,
attractive ladies,
but that's not their real appearance.
There were some grotesque old witches, that's for sure.
I know towards the end when you kind of sneak up on them, I think they're in their
like troll form, whatever. Oh, they're like their human form.
Their human form. Yeah. I can't remember at what point, but man, the one thing that really stuck with me, and I'll probably never forget this playing through The Witcher the first time, is when I actually got out of White Orchard, and it starts you at that hangman's tree, and I went down, and there's this guy tied up on the side of a river, and I saved him, and I forgot what he said. He was like, I'll pay you back or something, and you eventually find him near Velen, and he's with a group of guys, and they took over this camp and killed everybody, and he's like, oh man, thanks a lot for helping me out here.
I remember that.
And I just remember going like, oh my gosh, I should have killed you back then. And of course I like slaughtered all of them. But just stuff like that, where it's just like you'll do something like 10 hours ago, and it has repercussions, later on in the game. Just they're so good at doing that in that game, just building that world.
I think there's a quest.
I'm so excited for 2077, dude. That's going to be so cool.
I think Witcher 3 was a quest where I met a group of elves or something. Are there elves in The Witcher?
Scoia'tael.
Is that what they're basically elves, though? And they were like, hey, there's this camp of bandits. We're going to go kill them. And then it turns out they're like innocent people or something. And you have to decide, am I going to kill the people I'm with now or help the people they're attacking? I think that was a Witcher 3 quest. Maybe it was a different game.
I think there was one where they thought somebody was killing their merchants or something, and you go over to the Scoia'tael, and there's like a different story, and you could like lie about who they were or something. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but like you said, coming off of Witcher 3, not only is that one of the best open world RPGs of all time, but imagine the lessons they learned from a game as great as that and how they will expand upon those ideas in 2077 with not only entirely new setting, new characters, new story, but
what is that game going to be?
I know.
What's the combat going to be?
I assume it will obviously be an open world game again.
Is it a shooter? I would assume
that would be everyone's first assumption. Yeah.
I just want to know, is it going to be like really RP? Like, is it going to be like a completely different combat style? Is it going to be real-time combat?
Imagine like a Deus Ex in third person in an open world like that, but you have basically like Deus Ex, but CD Projekt Red's take on that world.
Is it going to be cover-based shooting? If it's there's so many questions with this game.
And then you have to question, like, how do you build a world if it's a cover-based third-person action RPG? Like, how do you design a world where there's always cover somewhere to hide and get in firefights?
Will they do the combat differently? Will it be more like...
I hope it's
turn-based
or
something.
I hope it's more like superhero-based with like cybernetic abilities. That's the kind of vibe I get from it.
Like Deus Ex type abilities.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Without
the thing is Deus Ex is very stealth-based, so you're not running and guns blazing, so it makes sense for that. So I wonder if this will have stealth elements. Or they toyed with that in The Witcher 2. There's some stealth missions which aren't good.
That is the big question.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just my biggest thing is like I'm excited. I completely, if there's, the top developers that I completely trust, along with Rockstar and stuff, like CD Projekt Red is up there, so I completely trust them. I just want to know what this game is.
I can't even begin to imagine the challenges they're facing. Not only just developing a game of that caliber, but having the success of Witcher hanging over the head. Like it sounded like when they were developing Witcher 3, their whole purpose was obviously we want to stand among the big dogs. We want to be recognized for that. And we also want to prove that Polish developers can create something of that level. But then they sounded like the kind of team that's like, well, now we have to go even further beyond that. And I'd hate for them to like try so hard to make it bigger and better than The Witcher that it almost suffers because of that. So I'm hoping they find the middle ground of not going too far with it. Granted, maybe they'll go so far and it'll blow everything out of the water and we underestimated them. Yeah. But I imagine there comes a point where something's too big.
Yeah, that's what's crazy is like you just said, The Witcher 3 is so good. Like, what are you going to do?
I think it was the right call to step away from The Witcher for the time being. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's out of the question that they'll never return to the world of The Witcher, especially because how big their fan base grew.
They said we're not completely saying no.
Because The Witcher 3 is as big as far as mainstream audiences is concerned, is the big it's ever been. So why would you just stop there if it's grown even more since even Witcher 2?
Whereas if they do decide to do another Witcher 2030...
at least, yeah. We're talking 15 years from now, maybe. Yeah. Because I think they're also the kind of company where CD Projekt doesn't demand anything specific from them. They're just like, we trust you, just do it. That's why Witcher 3 was in development for so long. And that's probably why they haven't announced a release date, is because they don't have to worry about sticking to that. Like,
this game could very well be a next-gen game.
Oh, easily. Sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it.
I think it is going to be a next-gen
game. I wouldn't even be surprised if tomorrow they're like, it won't be out till 2020. I'd be like, makes total sense, even if it's beyond that.
Because if they're how ambitious... Now, I don't remember if this is true or not, so sorry if I'm wrong, but... I think this generation consoles had something to do with the downgrades with The Witcher 3, because there was a little bit of a controversy for some downgrades, even though the game it's still beautiful and stuff. But I think they wanted it to be completely open world, like
Skellige. Even go to Skellige without loading.
I believe that's what they wanted to do, but they kind of had to scale it back for consoles. So if they want to push the envelope even further, maybe they want to wait until you know, the hardware's better.
Yeah.
You know, to make it.
Like imagine a giant Blade Runner sized city for Cyberpunk that's no loading.
Yeah.
You can just go anywhere, anytime.
That'd be cool.
That was one of the most impressive aspects of it. That's why it's the new precedent for open world RPGs. They've proven that you can achieve that.
And I'm sure, I don't know how daunting that is for them, but like everybody's looking at them now.
I know.
Like that's a lot of
careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I trust them.
Me too. Assassin's Creed Rogue is getting a remaster.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are interested in this. It just says Assassin's Creed Rogue.
I kind of am.
Sort of, yeah. It says that I still need to play Origins, though. That's my problem.
Oh, yeah.
It says the darkest chapter of the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood. Yeah. Now remastered with 4K support, available March 20th on Xbox One and PS4. Also wanted to throw out there, for those of you that don't know, if you're listening on Monday the 15th, today's the last day where select games are either 50 or 66% off on Ubisoft Store.
Dude, I'm so bummed that this game isn't on there. Because hearing this and the remaster announcement, I know this is the only Assassin's Creed game I have not, well, minus the PSP games and Liberation. This is the only mainline one I haven't played, so I was thinking about buying it on PC, but of course this is the one Assassin's Creed game that isn't on sale during their big sale they have right now.
I'm gonna pick up Far Cry 3 on PC. I think
it's like $6.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might as well buy because I love that game, and I've been on PC. It's fantastic. Yeah. So
that's a reason to buy a game.
For Far Cry.
Are you even gonna play it?
Far Cry 3? I'll dabble in it. I love running around in Far Cry.
$6 to dabble and stuff.
So this is my problem with a Steam sale. So people just buy shit and they never get to it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it.
I bought so much stuff on the Steam sale for like $1.
Yeah.
I bought like Portal. I bought like every Tomb Raider game ever.
I'm convinced there'll come a day
I already
where...
had Mass Effect 2 and I bought it again.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, very tempting. I mean, I don't even hesitate with the Siege stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drop $20 like it's nothing for those operators,
dude,
man.
Lizzie got me a $50 Steam card for my birthday. Like, when was my birthday? Last week? January 4th. I forgot how long ago it was. And I dropped all 50 of those dollars on Siege stuff. Nice. And I didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. I love that game.
Yeah.
So excited to play it again. Speaking of Ubisoft, Prince of Persia may or not have a revival opportunity here. This comes from Gamer Ranks. You guys may have seen this story floating around this week. I'm not at all excited about this. I doubt anything will come of it.
Oh, really quick. Back to the Assassin's Creed thing. Did you see anything for the expansion pass for Origins? Yeah.
No.
The picture they showed had people kind of in like white robes and stuff, so it's like it looks like it's more of a progression towards what the Brotherhood
starting.
Yeah, and it's like a new missions and a new area. The level cap's raised, so it actually sounds like a legit expansion. So I'm super pumped to get that.
Sounds awesome.
And jump back into that game.
I need to discipline myself and play that.
It's great.
Really need to do that.
It's really good.
So Prince of Persia. Quote, this comes from GameRanks. There might be a slight chance that we will see a revival of the once extremely popular action-adventure series from the PS3, Xbox 360 era, Prince of Persia. This week, model and TV host Chrissy Teigen posted on Twitter about how she had enjoyed Prince of Persia and wondered if the franchise was still alive. The creator of the series responded to Teigen, stating that he's working hard at bringing the series back. Quote, Chrissy, I know a few other people who feel the same way. We're doing our best to make it happen. End quote. It says Mechner was behind the very first Prince of Persia, I can't speak today, which released way back in 1989. Since the release, Mechner has been working with Ubisoft to develop the series reboot from 2001.
Now, what era did they say it was?
PS3, 360, but I remember us playing this on PS2, right?
Yeah, I think it was most popular during that era because the
original
PS3, 360,
the reboot trilogy that they had with Sands of Time Warrior.
That's when it was most popular. So I don't
by far
necessarily agree.
I never played Forgotten Sands.
Forgotten Sands was fine. I remember I beat it and got all 1,000 achievement points in one night running it from Blockbuster. It was an extremely short game. It was a tie-in with the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know he had the same look as Jake Gyllenhaal's character, who also looked like the Warrior Within version for some reason.
Yeah.
Which was a loose adaptation of the Sands of Time storylines. That's a classic Hollywood video game movie adaptation for you.
Yeah.
But Jacob knows.
Yeah. It was fine.
The game, Forgotten Sands.
It was
Did that come before or after the crazy reboot where they just called it Prince of Persia and it was totally different art style and gameplay and everything?
Where
every combat encounter was one-on-one.
That's a good question.
It had like a bunch of crazy, colorful light-based puzzles in
couldn't
them.
die.
Right, yeah,
Every
you would
time
just
you
fall
fell,
and just reappear.
The girl that was with you would just.
That's
pick
what's
you back
funny
up.
is that I didn't hate that game at all.
I beat it twice, I think.
No, I don't know. I guess they just used Prince of
Nolan
Persia.
North was the voice of
was
the
he?
Prince, yeah.
Because Prince of Persia was obviously used just for marketing purposes, because that was by no means a Prince of Persia game.
Literally, you could run on walls.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
So,
and it ended on a cliffhanger, and the real ending was DLC. So I never even played the real ending.
who approved that idea? Like, that was such a different time in games. Like, who would approve that nowadays?
You weren't even a prince, you were a thief.
Oh, that's right.
Random.
It's like taking Assassin's Creed and like, we're gonna change the art style, the gameplay, and just call it Assassin's Creed and reboot it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was their only idea after Two Thrones. Like, we got to do something.
They might have had a callback to it in the story, but I remember as a kid who was a massive fan of the original trilogy. You know, Warrior Within, Sands of Time. I
quote those games all the time.
Yeah, like I freaking love those games, and Sands of Time is my favorite. That
Same with me.
That was the one that surprised me the most, or I don't know if it surprised me because I wasn't expecting anything, but that's the one I played the most. So big fans of those. So that's the only reason I gave this game a chance, and I don't think it had any callbacks or anything. You just were running on walls and fighting these bosses one-on-one, and I liked it a lot, but like I said, it had nothing to do with the original. So
well, let's think of Prince of Persia in that sense of the trilogy that we grew to love as children. Who would that game be for nowadays? Would you want, let's just say they reboot Prince of Persia and it's almost exactly like those games were. Like, would you be satisfied with that, or would you want them to try something new with it? Like, what could they do that Assassin's Creed already hasn't done? Because Assassin's Creed really is the evolution of Prince of Persia in a lot of ways. I mean, I would like for them to keep it linear. Yeah, that would be one thing. That's kind of the main thing. I mean, the parkour is a big element of it, and then the puzzle solving. Yeah. You could expand upon the combat a bit. Granted, they haven't even... I mean, Assassin's Creed Origins combat's cool, but it's never been anything like Shadow of War's combat. As far as sword play is concerned, or Batman for that matter, as smooth and fluid as it can possibly feel. But I don't know. I don't know what I'd really want from a Prince of Persia reboot. That's why I feel like it's not going to happen. I think they could do a lot of cool stuff now with the rewind time. I think there could be some interesting puzzles with that. Especially what we've seen, like examples of Titanfall and Dishonored, and stuff you can do with time. Exactly. I think there are a lot of cool stuff could happen, because how was it really used in that game? It was purely just to save yourself. Exactly. It was like, oops, I fell. Like, it wasn't used for anything. Granted, as a kid, that was the first time I'd seen that in a game, and it was cool. Awesome. But besides just saving yourself, it really didn't do anything gameplay wise. I know you could like slow down time in fights, which I always forgot you could do. Yeah, that pretty much the fighting consisted of me just jumping over everybody's head over and over again, smacking them in the back. That's pretty much all I remember doing. But yeah, I hope they bring it back. I would like to I would like just a full reboot. Just kind of start over for Sands of Time. I know they already had an HD remake, but I would love another HD remake of Sands of Time. I would like to 4K support, like completely re-rendered graphics. Give me and everything. The trilogy on the Switch, man. I would love that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be awesome. I would totally play that on the go. Yeah. I think I already tried playing Warrior Within again on PS Vita before Switch came out. Dude, I had Warrior Within on my phone. Did it run? Yeah. Wow. It was an app. Yeah. I remember I played the original Warrior Within demo on PC, and I begged my dad to let me download it because it's so much more violent, and the first game was M-rated. Plus, I had was it she called the Enchantress or something? That lady in the skimpy black outfit in the game. I don't know her name. Showed her butt the whole time. Oh yeah. My dad was like, "Can't play this, son." I was like, "But Dad." I rented a pirate game, and the cover had a big-breasted woman in black leather. My dad was mortified that I rented it. I forgot what it was called, like Black Cat the Pirate or something. Yeah. I don't remember. I'm trying to find the release dates for... The 2001 was Sands of Time? 2000 maybe? The reboot was 2008, and the movie tie-in game was 2010. Okay, I thought it came after. Yeah, yep. Okay. The Forgotten... I know you fought a lot of skeletons in Forgotten Sands, didn't you? I remember seeing skeletons in the trailer. I don't remember. I think Sands of Time is on Steam.
Is it really? It's on Steam for...
And there it lay, the dagger of time.
For $9.99.
I am the Prince of Persia and the King of Blades.
Yeah,
they have,
they have every Prince of Persia game on Steam. That's cool. So I guess I could go back and play them.
You guys done talking about
cool.
your sand?
Yeah,
and your,
I could talk about that for a while, but we'll just leave it at that for now.
I hope they do it. That's all I have to say.
As do I. And probably the most exciting television news of the week for me personally, the John Wick TV series has been officially announced, and Keanu Reeves is involved as a producer. But I'm going to read their ideas for this.
Okay.
It's a little lengthy, but stick with me because I think we're all going to be really excited about this. This comes from Charles Moore of Gizmodo. Quote, we're still more than a year away from the third entry in the John Wick franchise, starring Keanu Reeves as the titular assassin who's really just trying to bond with a dog. But fans of the series will be pleased to learn that the previously rumored television spinoff has found a home on Starz. Set in the same world as the John Wick films, the Continental, that's the name of the show, will tell the story of the Continental Hotel, a place where the world's deadliest assassins go to lay low when they aren't out and about killing people. Though Reeves has not been confirmed to reprise his role as Wick on the series, he'll serve as a co-executive producer along with Basil Ewinick, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Chad Stileski. Stileski? Maybe that's how you pronounce it. I forgot.
Basil is the...
Basil! Isn't there a Basil in like a...
Austin Powers.
That's who it is, yeah.
It's Austin Powers' boss.
Basil!
Yeah.
It's a great British name. I could have been Basil Shaft instead of Alistair Shaft.
You should have.
Yeah, that's what all involve into Basil. I think Ubisoft's Uplay, you can change your name at any time. Maybe I could be Basil Shaft, my alter ego.
Once a month, Garrett.
That's once a month?
Yeah.
Oh, how horrible. Who directed all three John Wick films? Chris Collins, the man in the high castle and The Wire, will serve as the showrunner and writer, which already that alone gets me excited because I'm very impressed with Man in the High Castle, and I hear The Wire is one of the best TV shows of all time. So this is already in great, great hands with Keanu producing, same directors as the movies and the writer of those two shows. This is already like the stars have aligned on Starz. It's destiny. But to continue on, it says, though the Continental's home on television might make you assume that the show won't be nearly as action-packed as the film series it's tied to, Starz is confident that the show will be able to deliver on epic fight scenes. Said Starz CEO Chris Albrecht today at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour, quote, the Continental promises to include the thunderous fight sequences and intensely staged shootouts between professional assassins and their targets that fans have come to expect in the John Wick movie franchise, as well as introducing some new, darkly compelling characters who inhabit this underground world. End quote. How badass does that sound, dude?
Sounds pretty awesome.
It sounds so good. And even beyond the subject matter, because even in the Continental, we got a little more of it in the John Wick sequel, but it's still very focused on John Wick.
I still haven't seen it. I need to see it.
Oh, John Wick 2 is awesome, dude. I love that movie. But, you know, everyone's very interested in the Continental. I love the name of the show. They're calling it that, and we're going to get introduced to some new, compelling characters. And like I said, the showrunners, Keanu producing, and the directors, man, it is in the very best hands possible for this to be awesome. And Starz has the budget to make it good. I mean, John Wick, even of itself, isn't a very expensive movie. I think both of those were relatively low budgets for what they are. So I have the utmost confidence in this, dude. I am stoked for this.
How did the second one do better in the box office than the first one?
It did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But I think Keanu will undoubtedly make a cameo in at least a episode of the show. Like, even if he pops into the Continental. Like, I don't know if this will be ongoing after the film series or before or just in the middle of the films. I don't know.
Side story or something?
Yeah, but he will definitely make a cameo appearance at some point. So, that sounds great. What do you think, Preston?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it sounds so cool.
Yeah, I love the world of that franchise so much.
And I like that they're promising those excellently choreographed fight scenes. Mm-hmm. Especially in John Wick 2, man. So many awesome ones.
I need to watch that again.
I do need to watch that again as well.
That was a great movie.
Awesome.
So, man, I was at dinner with one of my coworkers who said that the second one sucked compared to the first one, and I've never been taken aback more.
That would shock me as well.
It shocked the crap out of me.
Wow. Did you combat that argument?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And
did you ask him what about it he didn't like?
I don't remember because I think I was like a bomb had just gone off. My ears were ringing.
Did you
how
say
offended I was.
Fucking what, mate?
We were at a Outback Steakhouse, so I think I threw the blooming onion on him.
Yeah, I would have done the same. Sounds like he deserved it.
Yeah. He's just probably trying to be edgy.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he gets his suit tailored and he goes to the weapons vendor.
That's cool.
He's like, what would you like for the main course?
I like the
how
part
about dessert?
Where he picked up the 2 pistols and he went, I'll take 2. That was my favorite part.
Best scene in the movie. And he had a ponytail as well.
Yeah.
Best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
The whole world's gone mad. Anyway, let's talk about Nintendo Direct. Okay. That happened last week, correct? This past week?
This past week.
Mm-hmm. I have the full list of games they announced. If you'd like me to go through them, you can stop me at any time.
Go for it. Okay.
Full list of games, here we go, that we saw at the Nintendo Direct. Forgive me if some of these are missing. I just went to the first website I found and copied and pasted them.
Okay.
The World Ends With You, coming this year.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Isn't it like a remaster or like a remake or something?
It's not. It's just a remaster, a port from a Nintendo DS game.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be quite few of those.
The only thing that I know about that game
at least a few.
There is a Kingdom Hearts game that has those characters from that game in it.
Yes.
It's a very weird game. It was
People are
actually
excited. I saw gameplay. It looks cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I might try
I'll probably not get it, but it looks cool.
Pokken Tournament DX DLC.
Boo.
It's got the sword guy.
Reggie. Or is it Reggie Slash or something?
Reggie
Jacob,
Slash.
there's one game on this list that's going to blow your socks off here in a second.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to poop.
All right.
You probably already know that it exists, but
I probably do.
I wouldn't be surprised if you told me you pooped when you heard it.
I mean, I've seen them all, so.
Kirby All-Stars, March 16th, is a new Kirby game. Any interest in that?
I'm going to play that.
Nope.
Me neither.
I mean, it's coming out in March, so.
It looks fine.
What about Dragon Quest Builders? The demo is out now, but Dragon Quest Builders in general.
I am psyched for the new Dragon Quest coming out. I don't know what number it is, 13 or something, but it looks dope.
Dope.
I'll take your word for it.
The graphics look beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Cool. I'm surprised we didn't hear anything about Octopath Traveler at this Direct.
Yeah, that'll come.
I'll
show you some gameplay later on.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Hyrule Warriors Ultimate Edition, Jacob.
Yeah.
You're all on those Warriors games, man. Are you going to play this one?
I played one for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
when we worked at GameStop, you know that Prius guy that would come in, he'd go play Hyrule Warriors demo on the Wii U in there for 3 hours and no one would stop him because he'd always leave the store spending like $50. He would just hang out in there for 4 hours. So his time paid off eventually. They called him Prius because he drove a Prius and would just come hang out in the store just for hours. He'd go in the corner and read a book, and you wouldn't want to get too close to him because anyone that walked too close to him, he'd start talking to you about Metroid, and he wouldn't shut up, and you couldn't escape. So I always have to avoid him. I was like Neo in there when he's coming at me, dude. I have to dodge him in every
direction. You never want to be the guy that just hangs out in the GameStop and talks to everyone.
I mean, poor guy, though. But he probably just needed a friend, and that's how he had a lot of his social interactions because he figured a lot of gamers would come in there and talk to him. So everyone was kind to him. I was kind to him.
Don't be that guy.
But when I was trying to work, he'd try to start talking to me, and I don't want to just blow him off. Sometimes I have to be like, all right, man, I got to get back to work. But I felt bad if I was just like, I don't want to hear about Metroid right now. Trying to put these 360 used games in order.
But no, I will not be picking up Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, we'll see,
You got
Jacob.
the Breath of the Wild skins.
Yeah, come on, man.
Jacob.
Shit, you're right. I gotta get it.
Yeah.
You gotta get it now.
You're the biggest Warriors fan I know, so you got to play it.
I guess I am. I'm the one that's played one.
You can stream it, man. Mario Tennis Aces. This looks great.
I'm excited for that.
You're not into the Mario Tennis?
I want golf.
I want golf too,
Mario
but
Tennis is so good.
I'll still take tennis. I think tennis is awesome.
Yeah, fine.
I am so. There's a story. There's a campaign.
This will inevitably be a success coming off of Odyssey and just Switch in general, so they will make golf.
I'll see the reviews because the last Mario Tennis game on the Wii U was not good.
Listen, go play your golf story, okay? I'm gonna go play Mario
Didn't you
Tennis.
buy Golf Story? No.
I was thinking of buying that or what was the other one saying? Mario Rabbids.
I'd buy Mario Rabbids.
Okay. How do you pronounce this? Yes?
Since you're a huge XCOM fan.
Right.
Yeast. Yeah, that actually looked. I've heard that that's a really good JRPG, and it looked cool.
Yeast 8. Lacrimosa of Dana or Dana. Tomato.
Yeah, the gameplay looked cool.
Coming this summer.
That name is a mouthful.
Yeast 8. Lacrimosa of Dana.
Dude.
Sorry.
All right.
Super Mario Odyssey is getting an update next month. Includes Luigi's Balloon World soft multiplayer mode where you can kind of set records and compete against friends. Go hide a balloon. That sounds
DLC
great.
that I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
The Luigi.
Some people on Twitter were like, "Dude, I'm psyched for this. Get the hell out of here. You want to go hide a balloon?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Come find
dude.
my balloon.
Go hunt it down.
Yeah, that's dumb. I don't think
Not
that's
into
cool. Not into it.
But in addition, with the free update, introduces several new snapshot filters, as well as 3 new outfits, including the Sunshine Shades outfit, modeled after Super Mario Sunshine.
I'm hoping this is like the DLC one for Zelda. I hope that there's something else down the line.
Man, this is like nothing.
It's just a free update. It's like, here you go.
I hope there's something else.
I'm sure there'll be some DLC.
I'm sure there'll be DLC with like 3 new worlds with like hundreds of new moons.
They'd be insane to not do DLC for this.
Yeah, they definitely. I mean, imagine they can make infinite worlds in this game because people just love hunting moons. So they'll make a ton more. Musician hat plus outfit to look like the one from New Dog City Musicians. The knight armor and helmet, which I was hoping you could get fighting that one boss. We won't want to spoil for some people later in the game, but they didn't have it. But I'm glad you get it now. It looks awesome. It's like the Dark Souls outfit of the game.
Speaking of which,
exactly. You see that segue there, Jacob?
Yeah.
I'm skipping several other games, but we'll come back to them. Dark Souls Remastered. It's coming May 25th to, I think, 360 and PS4 as well, but the big one is like Nintendo Switch as well.
I'm playing it on the Switch, dude.
And every journalist and all of games media, praise the sun! That's like the headline of every article, like, wow, really original.
So I work with a lot of guys that love the Dark Souls series, and like, they're getting me all hyped up because they're telling me like, oh, Dark Souls 1's like the best one. It's like so much harder and it's more finicky than the newer Dark Souls. So they've kind of got me excited to play it, and I'm going to play it on the Switch.
More finicky.
I saw the funniest.
The worlds aren't as well made. It's probably intentional, but like it's harder to maneuver through the worlds. Just
people, every time I hear about Dark Souls, there's like,
and there's a lot of shit that's bullshit.
They always say there's like a main hub that you always make your way around to, and that was like the coolest thing. Like,
apparently this one takes place in like a forest mostly.
I have no clue.
So I don't know.
I
Apparently it's a lot
the
different.
First one. But man, what a world that we have a console that we can play Skyrim and Dark Souls
Doom.
and the new Zelda Doom while we're taking a poo.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. What a man. This is what
we were born in the right generation.
Yeah, we were.
I love when there's like an incredible meme and someone in the comments like way down. It's like one like. It's like I was born in the right generation.
As much as the internet is the worst thing ever, there sometimes just some memes are so good that it was worth it. All the bad stuff was worth it for this meme.
I think the greatest comment that I use all the time for stuff that I think is probably one of the funniest things. It's so simple too. One of the funniest things I've ever read was on. I think Zach pointed it out to me at the time. LeBron James had posted something on Instagram, and of course LeBron James has millions of followers. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of comments, like people saying stuff to LeBron as if he's going to see it or even respond to them. Like, LeBron, like, you inspired me so much. Like, how's your day going? And like questions like that. Just hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And Zach's just scrolling through all of them. And all of a sudden he sees one like way at the bottom. It just says, the. That's all it was. And I thought that was so funny for some reason. Just the. And that was the comment. I'm like, that man is a comedic genius.
Oh, yeah.
So, but Dark Souls, it's happening. Community question about that before we move on.
Okay.
Kyle says, Bohongales. Why, hello, you scrumptious cuties.
What if you just said Bohongales?
Yeah. Hello, you scrumptious cuties. With OG Dark Souls on the way to the Switch, what other titles would you like to see remastered to Nintendo's newest gimmick machine?
Machine?
I don't know. Maybe all the virtual console shit.
That'd be great.
Twilight Princess, please.
That's a must. Absolutely. I think every Zelda game belongs on Switch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The second Twilight Princess gets announced for Switch.
Wind Waker will make its way there.
I got great news for you. We're getting Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, we mentioned that, Jacob, and you're going to calm down about that. You're the only one excited.
And we wanted.
Yeah, the best Zelda game.
Yeah, for sure.
Best combat by far.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's the thing. Switch is so great. They've proven if you can put Skyrim on it and Doom on it and it run pretty well, you can pretty much put anything on there, with the exception of probably The Witcher, games like that. PUBG on Switch, man.
I mean, I bet you could get The Witcher to run on it. But you could. I wouldn't play that game. I don't think that would even fit handheld. That's.
I don't know, man. You played Breath of the Wild on handheld, and that was great.
Yeah, that's true.
I know Witcher's bigger in a lot of ways, but
yeah.
I'd like me some of them Pokemon games on my Switch.
I don't know. That's a good question. Huh.
Other games remastered.
You think they're ever going to put a Call of Duty on Switch? Like, why wouldn't you?
I think they should.
Yeah, I think they should too.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's been on Switch before, hasn't it?
No.
Never. I mean, not Switch. Wii.
Black Ops 2 was on Wii U.
World at War was on Wii.
I remember World at War because you played it on there, didn't you? What a loser.
That was my first Call of Duty.
Whoa, Call of Duty on Wii with my motion controls? It's going to be sick.
Sick, dude.
It was, dude. Multiplayer was so hard. The aiming was awful.
My first Wii
Either
game
that or I had a
ever
high
was
sensitivity and couldn't
Red
hit-
Steel. That FPS. I remember I brought my Wii over here, and you couldn't even walk in a straight line playing that game.
Red Steel. Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's remaster that
Shadow
for Switch.
on my Wii. We need a Red Steel Switch, like the third one needs to come to Switch.
Totally, I agree. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy.
Did we even answer his question?
You said Red Steel. I'm going with that one.
Red Steel? No, that's not a remake. That's like I want to.
Really, should that be remastered for the gimmick machine?
You need like the Wii Motion Plus to play Red Steel. For real though, I would like. Actually, I don't know. I think Dark Souls is cool though. It's a cool game. There's nothing on your wall is gonna come.
I know my wall always fails us, dude. I wonder if the posters that are covered up by my TV have been hiding answers from us for all these years, and we just can't see
you need to
them.
shift your posters around.
I should.
So you have some new material.
What about any Arkham games?
Oh, those would be awesome on Switch.
That might be pretty cool.
That'd be really cool.
Arkham Trilogy on Switch.
I think they would do really well on Switch.
I don't know if Knight would have to be downgraded big time, but I think Asylum and
City could do it.
Could be on Switch. For
No
sure.
doubt. Mario Rabbids DLC, we like you talked about, is bringing Donkey Kong this spring. So that's cool, I guess.
Rahiha.
What was that?
Rahiha.
What's
That's
that?
when you pick him, he goes Rahiha.
Did you do that voice yourself in the game?
Did I do? Yeah.
Oh, you didn't bother to mention that. I mean, Jacob does a lot of voice acting himself. You heard him do his Mario and his Toad, Captain Toad.
You ever heard of Toad, the main star of the Mario franchise?
Whip out the Captain Toad real quick for us.
Yahoo!
That's great.
That's not good.
Who can I do an impression of in a video game that I forgot who it was?
I don't know, Garrett.
Nobody.
You don't do
I know I can do
You really
one
don't
character
do much,
really
bud.
well. I just can't remember who it is. Oh, Piccolo. Special Beam Cannon. Oh, my voice hurts. I can't do it as low. Special Beam Cannon. I can't do it anymore. I have to get really visceral when I do it. I don't want to yell into the mic too much.
That'd be a little loud.
Can you do anyone, Preston?
Not really. I thought I could do Yoshi pretty good. Yoshi.
That's pretty good.
Yoshi.
That's good.
We can do the whole Mario cast at this table.
I could do Peach.
Mario. That's pretty good.
Is that how she sounds?
That was.
Whoa.
Who was that? Mario?
Toad.
Oh, was that Toad? I mean, Toad is hilarious, dude.
That's when he gets hit in Mario Kart. That's the noise he makes.
It sounded like Mario.
We need to do. I love someone's idea in the community to do a Mario Kart stream again, and have like a big tournament with the community.
Sure, I'll kick everyone's ass.
Yeah, good luck, pal.
You probably will.
Says the man.
Captain Luck over here.
Captain Luck.
Because I would win like so many multiplayer matches. I'm like,
And
how do
then
I
you
lose
fight-
so
then
much
you
to
face the
Preston?
master.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're gonna get down to the bottom of that soon. Payday 2. Is that a remaster or just a port?
It's just a port.
February 27th.
Boo.
Fee and Celeste.
Dude, chill.
Fee looks cool.
Fee was announced at EA's E3 thing last year.
Was that? Oh, that little like blue creature.
Yeah, artsy thing.
Yeah. Now, what is Celeste? Is this the sequel to that game? Because I remember the original was just called Fee.
I have no clue.
Lord knows.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend
Oh
to
man,
know.
you know what I want on the Switch?
What?
I want Okami on the Switch. Why didn't that come to Switch?
What's that again?
Okami, the
Is that like a white wolf or something?
Yeah. That got put on PS4 and PC and all that stuff, but I want that on the Switch.
Describe to me what it is again.
It's like the Zelda-like game where you play the wolf. It's the art style is like a
Because I can see it, I can visualize it. I just can't remember what the gameplay looked like.
I mean, you're just like a wolf. You have a paintbrush.
Is it a wolf simulator?
You have a paintbrush and you can like do lines and stuff.
That sounds so cool, man.
It is cool.
I'm sure it is. I'm not crapping on it.
Yeah. Apparently the PC version is locked at 30 frames, which is a little weird.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
This is the best thing on this list.
Coming May 4th.
I'm interested in this.
I want to play this.
As am I. The game will add a new playable character, Funky Kong,
Funky Kong, man.
who introduces his own unique twist on the original's platforming
He's got
gameplay.
a surfboard.
It's easy mode.
Funky Kong. That's awesome.
Did you see the gameplay?
I did not.
Yeah, he has a surfboard, so he can, like, if there's spikes, it's essentially like to give to your little brother who keeps messing up and losing the game for you.
I do recommend you should watch the direct. I'm surprised you haven't yet. Okay, bud.
Ain't nobody got time for that, Jacob.
Well,
I can't remember what I was doing.
Dead meme, dude.
Yeah. I like that. I can whip out the classics every now and then.
Oh, yeah?
The classic.
How about you cash me outside? How about that?
Let's not go there. That one's a little too controversial.
That one's a little too dead.
Have you seen her music on YouTube?
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty disturbing. It's not really her that's disturbing. It's the comments are like, she's such a visionary. I'm like,
much like how you didn't
doing?
watch the direct, I'm going to choose not to watch that.
That's in your best interest. Please don't, for your own sake.
Okay.
I walked down that path, Jacob, and it came back with me a bit. It haunts me. So let's jump into community questions on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued supply of questions to the show to continue the conversation in the latter half of the episodes. We love it so much, and we're so thankful for your continued support. And for questions that we read on either Ask IOG, which a new episode debuted this past week on Friday, available on this YouTube channel at youtube.com/itsobviousgaming, or on podcasting services, specifically just Spotify and iTunes at the moment. And it's simply titled Ask Capital IOG. It's not titled It's Obvious Gaming or It's Obvious Podcast. If you want to check out Ask IOG and you've yet to do so, search on iTunes or Spotify, or again on YouTube, Ask Capital IOG, or Ask EOG, as some people like to pronounce it.
Families of great royalty and social status like to say EOG.
Correct.
So if you would like to associate yourself with those kind of people, by all means, adopt that pronunciation.
Ask EOG.
You confused the shit out of me in the beginning. I was like, what?
But the new episode is finally out, episode 6, and we had a lot of great questions in there, and there were plenty more where that came from. I don't know if we'll have one this week because I'm very, very busy before I go out of town. So
I'm going to be out of town.
We will not have one.
No, but maybe the following week.
Cool.
We'll see. But again, thank you for your support. And if you want any of your questions read on this show or Ask IOG, you can reach us in one of 3 places. You can email us at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming, or submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel using the hashtag AskIOG on all those platforms so that we know you want your question read on the show. But if you just want to chat, by all means, message us anytime, anywhere, and we usually respond. I know I always do. Can't vouch for these other 2, but I will respond to you. So
if you just send me hey on PlayStation, I probably won't respond. Sorry.
Guess where we got one of our community questions this week that I just happened to stumble upon? No. iTunes.
iTunes.
Hey.
Wow.
I don't suggest asking questions on iTunes because I just happened to come across this because I was uploading the Ask IOG stuff, and I just happened upon It's Obvious Gaming. And I was like, oh, this guy asked the community. And it was recent too. It was like a couple days ago. So I was like, man, if I hadn't come across this, it would have been eternally there forever.
I guess I shouldn't have said that. I'm not the only one that looks at the reviews. You should leave reviews for us.
Yeah.
5-star reviews.
But that's going to be the big finale question of the day, so we'll get there. But Sam Harris says, question number 1. Hola, senors. Now, we've been referred to as so many different things on this podcast, and I love it. Like scrumptious cuties.
That was a good one.
Hola, senors.
Gentlemen and Jacob.
Gentlemen and Jacob. And there's like 1,000 different ones. And there's...
I like that one.
As content creators, I'm going to burp. Excuse me. That T-Bell, man, coming back to haunt me.
I need to poop.
Oh, yeah? I had Burger King last night, and I had to take 3 gas X today because I've never farted so consistently in my entire life. I'm like every 15 seconds, it was the rankest stuff you've ever smelled.
I'm going to point in mine and Casey's relationship where I will rip the gnarliest farts right in front of her.
I can't do it in front of my wife.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude, you're married to the woman.
I'm not there yet.
You don't just you don't just get up in the morning and she's still asleep and just rip.
Oh no, I do, but I don't know if she hears it. If she hears it, she does. Oh, in her face. Oh yeah. I put my whale's hole in her nose and I just let it rip. I mean, whale's eye.
That's true marital love right there.
I mean, I'm talking ripping once that sounds like a dying humpback in the depths of the ocean. Like,
the thing is, I was playing The Evil Within 2, and I had my earphones cranked, and I was just letting them rip, like no holding back. And she was in the other room, so she was probably hearing me just die for like 2 hours straight today.
The best is when you're by yourself and you just rip the gnarliest fart, and you just can't help but laugh at yourself. Yeah. Like alone in a quiet room, it's like, you're like, oh.
You guys have ruined Sam Harris's question.
Sorry.
Oh man. let's jump back into it. The best are those when you think it's gonna be massive. It's just like,
yeah. Because there's so much pressure built.
Right.
The worst is when you're in a public bathroom and you're trying to be quiet and it's just like a didgeridoo just echoing off the toilet balls.
That's the funniest when you walk into a public restroom and there's someone in there taking a dump, but it's just you and him in there. Yeah. And you know they don't want to like rip up a storm, but there's some guys that just don't care. Yeah. I've walked into a bathroom just like, and they'll be like, oh, like
the shotgun blast.
Yeah, like you hear like the splatter and everything. It's like a grunt and a shotgun blast, and they just don't care.
I wish I didn't care.
I mean, I've gone into some bathrooms where I swear the guy's dying in there, and I'm like, I want to ask him, like, you okay in there?
Sometimes you have to. The first time we went to see The Force Awakens, we had eaten at the California Pizza Kitchen, and it went all through me. So we're walking into The Force Awakens. Thank God we got there earlier, else I would have missed the front of the movie. And man, the bathroom was crowded, and I had to strategically wait for the like hand dryers to come on for me to just freaking die in there, just so nobody heard me. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
man, so many memories on the toilet, on and off the toilet.
Yeah.
Hola, senors. As content creators, who are your biggest influences when it comes to creating videos or the way the podcast is structured? There's a follow-up to that as well.
Clearly, anybody that talks about any podcast we listen to where they talk in depth about farting and pooping.
That's been the
a lot of our inspiration comes from the toilet.
It really does.
Our experiences on the toilet.
This is a garbage podcast, so it belongs in the toilet. That's where it all comes from. He says, follow-up question, what is the worst and best thing about creating content? Love you guys and your faces. Keep running. Inspirations. Originally, it was definitely kind of funny because we saw what they were doing when they broke off from IGN and started Kind of Funny. We started It's Obvious Gaming weeks after Kind of Funny Games started, I believe, because Kind of Funny existed, but their brand started, and that's when we started a few weeks later.
We'd always talked about doing YouTube.
Yeah, we at that time we've been talking about it off and on for at least a year.
I think even when we lived in the apartment, it was brought up briefly.
Yeah, it was, because especially when we were living together, we're like, oh, it'd be so easy, we'll do it. But as soon as they started, and it was like a couple weeks later, Preston was just like, let's just do it. And we're like, all right. So that's when we started. And we've been going hard ever since.
Started off with Zach doing it with us, too.
Yeah. I mean, Kind of Funny was originally like a big inspiration. Like we even structured our podcast episodes off of how they did the Game Over Greggy show, where it was broken into parts. Mostly because we wanted to fill up every week with enough videos. Because right now, like a lot of weeks, we'll just have the podcast, and if we're lucky, we'll have a Let's Play. Yeah. When originally we would have 3 main topics. This is like our old episodes. If you guys have never heard these, they're archived on our YouTube playlist. But it would be
don't go looking.
Yeah, please don't.
Good laugh. Go looking.
Right. Part 1 on Monday. A Let's Play on Tuesday, part 2 of the podcast on Wednesday, a Let's Play on Thursday, and then Friday would be part 3 of the podcast, which I thought was really solid. Like it was really varied, and I thought it was a cool way to break things up. But we stopped doing that I don't remember what compelled us to stop doing that.
To just think of topics.
Yeah, like points. 3 central topics, and that was it.
Sometimes we had, like now we have so much news sometimes that we couldn't just break it up like that.
You know, when the Order sequel comes out, our episode for that has to be The Order 1905. Is it good? Question mark. That has to be the name of the episode. It's a throwback to the original. Episode? Yeah.
The thing is I wanted, the main reason I really wanted us to do a podcast is because I thought just our conversations in general had always been funny to me, and I don't think we really like showed that at all in our first episodes when we had like structured topics.
We weren't being us.
Exactly.
We were. I know I was incredibly nervous.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, obviously just us getting better, you know, just in front of a camera.
We had the widescreen aspect ratio for our videos, dude, for a cinematic look, unintentionally.
But I mean, that's the main thing I wanted us to do with the podcast, is for us to just completely be ourselves, and it had to do with us being new to doing a podcast in general, but I also think us having to structure it with the topics kind of threw that off. So once we kind of threw that aside and just made it a completely, I mean, we're not very, we're kind of structured, we're broadly structured in a sense, but for the most part we're not like super structured. So, and I think that kind of fits just the conversations we have.
Yeah,
I mean, we're consistently having like an hour of bullshit before we start our podcast every week.
Yeah,
A lot of tangents too. It's a very unfocused podcast.
Yeah, but I mean that's
I feel like
that's
part of it.
That's just I just want to talk.
Yeah, that's what it is to me. Like I've always thought, like I'd love to try some random like game related games that people do in podcasts that I think are really interesting and fun to listen to. But there's nothing I feel like we could do that would be. I can't think of anything original to do like that. But I feel like what our podcast is just talking. We're just three dudes talking about games. That's pretty much it. And of course, there's like a news segment. There's our intro and like community questions and everything.
And we have every now and then we'll do like a very long review.
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, the Arkham Knight review. Mm-hmm. It's like 8 hours long or something.
Yeah.
Where we just.
You and I ranted a lot on that game. So. But yeah. That's the thing is like Kind of Funny was an inspiration for a while, but I haven't referred to Kind of Funny for anything for years. I think the first year was Kind of Funny inspired, but beyond that has not been anything. I mean, I watch a lot of gaming YouTube related stuff, but I've never once thought like I want to make a video like that, or I like in my subconscious that's what I'm thinking. It's always just whatever we feel like doing is what we do nowadays. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I'm glad people support us for that, because there's nothing like really. I don't think there's anything aside from the podcast that really defines its obvious gaming. Because like some people are known like, oh, that guy's famous for his Let's Plays, or these people are famous for this skit series they do. Like we just exist. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are here to hang out with us, because I don't know what really defines us aside from the podcast. Perhaps pooping. Perhaps Taco Bell.
Yeah, pooping and Taco Bell is definitely something I'm proud of to be known by.
Yeah. So then you ask, follow-up question, like the worst and best thing about creating content.
I think it's kind of the same thing. The best thing is not being noticed, and the best thing is being noticed. Mm-hmm. They're just people being engaged, and the worst thing is people not seeing the video or not being engaged with it.
Sorry, going back to what we were just talking about, I think the best thing we have going for us is that we're very relatable to other people that listen to us. So we're just ordinary guys. We're friends having a conversation about stuff we enjoy talking about.
You just said you were some higher up peon, like upperclassman or something a second ago.
So ask. Now there are the EOGs in the community that are like you said, the prestigious bunch that are allowed to pronounce it that way. But and whenever they say they have a pinky out, ask EOG or just EOGs.
Yeah, no matter what they're doing, they always
have to type your question with your.
Sometimes two pinkies out.
Oh yeah, typing.
Pinkies out while you're typing. Or be like me and just type with your index fingers.
There you go.
Like an idiot. I will say hardest part, even sometimes nowadays, for those of you that have started either YouTube channels or Twitch channels or any sort of content related material, and you don't have an audience or a very, very small audience, and one can argue like we also have a very small audience, but compared to some people have an audience of maybe 10 people, and it can be very hard to stay encouraged as far as making consistent content, hoping that you can grow. And I will say that was a challenge when we first started, is that we didn't know. I mean, we didn't receive comments on videos for a while. I mean, it was at least 6-7 months before we got a couple comments.
February, probably not till summer.
I think one of our first comments was some guy chewing us out, telling us we were losers and stuff. We're like, hey, it's a comment at least.
I remember us talking about it too.
Right. So for those of you that are starting out, I would say keep at it and stay encouraged, because I know it can be hard when you feel like no one's either watching or commenting on your content. And it can be hard to stay encouraged and crank out videos like we used to. I mean, it's unfortunate that we don't have as much time to crank out as much content as we'd like to. I mean, I have so many videos planned that I know we could do great things with. It's just, we just don't have the time, unfortunately, because we are grown men with jobs, and I'm in school and have multiple jobs. So it's very difficult, but I would say the biggest challenge is...
That's the biggest challenge, is the time restraints for us.
Yeah, especially now is time restraints. We're very, very fortunate and honored to have all of you in the community supporting us week in and week out, because like we said, don't have a lot of time, but the fact that you guys are there commenting and supporting and talking to us about games every week has been awesome. And that's exactly what we set out to do. Even if it's obvious gaming is just this and that's all it ever is, our mission was accomplished, because that's exactly what we wanted to achieve, is just have a community of people from literally around the world that we can share our love of video games with, and that's what we're doing, and it's great.
And at the very least, if nothing else, it's given us three a chance just to, bond and at least stay in touch with.
Think about it. If we weren't doing this every weekend, I don't think we'd ever see each other.
I'd probably never see.
I mean, I'd maybe see you at Evans every now and then, but aside from that, well, especially Preston, man. When will we ever see Preston?
Never.
That's why I'm like, I don't ever want this to end, because like I don't know how things are going to change if it ends. So we'll see. Yeah, hardest thing I'll say, if you're a new content creator, like you haven't been doing it as long and you have a very small audience, keep at it, because I know that's tough, but it's worth it. there are people there who will love your stuff.
Unless it's awful. Then probably not.
That's a different story.
Unless you just suck.
I don't know. We're awful, and people still like us for some reason.
Yeah.
Besides the videos that Garrett's. Besides,
you think get your,
he's saying besides Garrett.
If it weren't for Garrett's good editing, then we might be awful.
I don't know. We'll see how much longer that lasts. Josh Scriber says, "Hey guys, hope you're all doing beyond great. What's something violent you've done in any RPG that you would probably deviate
in real life?
Yeah, what's the most violent thing you've done in real life that you've done in any RPG that you would probably deviate from the original way the game was meant to be played?" He gives an example. He says, "When I first started exploring the amazing world of Skyrim, I arrived in Riverwood and the first thing I did was slaughter what I thought to be a stray chicken. Suddenly, a villager started attacking me, so I fist fought him, thinking that a few good punches should scare him away. Next thing I know, Sven and Sigrid are on the ground at my feet in a permanent slumber. So I panic and flee the town as more villagers rush to fight me. The icing on the cake, I turned autosave off so I couldn't reload. The lesson here," was a big inhale, "blows long steam of smoke from cigar and removes cigar. Don't slaughter chickens in broad daylight." Made a grave mistake there. He killed a man's chicken.
Yeah.
So what's the most violent thing you've done in a video game, you think? It's probably in an RPG for me as well.
Mine's
probably Grand
also Skyrim.
Mine's probably in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've slaughtered
That's a good one.
cities full of people in that game.
Yeah, GTA
Just
4.
cheat codes on, you can slaughter 100,000
GTA 4,
people.
I would go into like a hospital and just
Unload.
hold up in there and just, that's not good.
Dude, that's so funny.
There's nothing quite like GTA taking a extremely fast sports car just through the sidewalks of Los Santos.
Just making a tank fall from the sky.
You stop and there's just your hood's dented and it's just plastered in blood. Yeah. Man, so bad.
Rocket launchers.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really evil in Fallout 3, my evil playthrough, where like you blow up Megaton and you just have to do, there's like a slaver camp. I think it's called like Paradise Falls, and you have to run around and put slaver bracelets on people's necks. Granted, that's not,
I remember that.
yeah, that's like something that's a part of a quest, so it's not like I out of my own will, but that was pretty, I felt very evil doing that stuff. And if I, you know, I'm not as critical of Fallout 4 as a lot of other people, but I think that is one of the things that I think they should have done better, is more options and quests like that for like an evil playthrough.
Get this. One time, this is the worst thing I've ever done in a game. I turned around on a NASCAR track and I fucking wrecked every single driver.
I used to do that.
Can you imagine how much money they had to spend repairing those
How many
vehicles?
lives you probably took as
I
well?
killed hundreds of people.
Thousands of racers.
There's only I think there's 43 racers, but I killed thousands.
It's pretty bad, Jacob.
Wow.
I was happy. That's what I did in NASCAR games. You just turn around and wreck everyone.
I started New Vegas on PC for fun.
Oh yeah.
A couple weeks ago. I don't know if I'll go back to it or not. I'd probably just rather play Fallout 4 at this point.
Wow.
But also on my monitor, it doesn't let me manipulate it as much as other games do, so I'm permanently stuck in like a letterboxed.
Yeah, it's probably
screen.
not a 21:9 aspect ratio.
So it kind of annoys me a bit, but I might dabble in it a little more. I really liked the opening of the game and some of the side quests I was doing already. But
was your game jittery?
It was not.
Okay,
no, it was
that's
silky
good.
smooth.
Okay. Mine was. There are some people, based on I guess the configuration of their computer, it's a little jittery, and you have to download a mod to make it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I was worried about that, but thankfully it's pretty smooth.
That's good.
But that opening town you spawn in, what's it
Good
called?
Springs?
Yeah, Good Springs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you meet everyone in the town. I'm like walking around, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill these people.
Oh, wow.
I saved it because I didn't want to. I'm gonna try to be a good guy. Maybe at the same time I want to be a bad guy because I think I've just started killing people for fun. But in the town, I was like, I just want to see what happens. And there's always that part of you, like even in Skyrim, like I'm gonna slaughter this village and see how I just feel about it. And I killed everyone in that town. I used dynamite, blew up people in half, blew off legs and arms. This lady that was so kind to me, I shot her dog in the face.
Oh.
Threw grenades, blew up the entire bar, shot the old man on his rocking chair. I mean, I was an evil bastard, dude. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to reload it. I felt really bad about that.
You see the reputation system in that game?
Yeah, it's like like how it used to be.
Every settlement has. Oh no, not even that.
Oh, it's like individual rankings for each one. Like you can earn titles, like the Devil of Good Spring or something. Exactly. If you're bad,
every group of people can see you in different lights.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's what
was missing about Fallout 4. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. New Vegas does a lot of really cool stuff that wasn't in Fallout 3 or Fallout 4.
Who made that game again?
Obsidian.
Went on to do Pillars of Eternity after that.
Yeah. I know it's probably years upon years away, but that video I sent you guys of the mod for Fallout 4, but New Vegas and Fallout 4, dude, I would play the absolute crap out of it.
I'm right there with you. I was so impressed by that little snippet.
I know it's so far off, but that's really cool.
Yeah, dude, I watched that video.
Yeah, you did. That's cool.
Anything else horribly violent you guys have done?
Jacob, you should watch it.
It looks really cool.
What'd you say?
You're not even that big of a Fallout 4 fan.
A big Fallout New Vegas mod is coming out relatively soon, where it's like an entire different game on an entire different land.
I think I heard about that as well.
Been making for a long time.
Sounds cool.
I'd play that. It's
I'm right there with you.
New Fallout game.
Anything else you guys want to throw in there?
I forgot what the question was. Oh, the evil things?
Yeah.
No. I typically really don't. I mean, I played God of War. I just played it. That was pretty violent.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
Take a bath after.
The Last of Us. It's pretty violent.
It is, yeah. Zach Dowd says, as a college student who moved 3 times last year and will move again this year, digital is an obvious choice for my game library. Have any of your opinions swayed towards digital with the switch out and with more focus on PC gaming? Cheers from Boston.
Only because I have to. If I could get boxed copies of
PC games,
which I know you can, but it's just... I'd have to install a CD drive on my computer. I'd have to take it out of my old computer and put it in. So it's a little bit of work, but
I'm at the point where I'm only going to buy physical versions of games that I'm very on fire about. For example, the next Halo, I will buy physical.
Yeah. If it's console, I'm buying the
Cyberpunk. If I can buy a physical PC version, I will buy the physical PC version because I think that's a company that I not only want to support in every way possible, but it's like Witcher, for example, like having that hard case with all the goodies that came with it, that's a special part of it as well. So games like that are the only ones I'm worried about buying physically now. I don't remember the last time I bought a physical disc aside from like a older game I wanted to play.
I need to find out if I buy a physical disc, does it work through Steam? Because I really like having all my stuff.
Exactly.
Steam,
yeah.
So I don't know how that works.
It probably just gives you a Steam code.
The thing is, CD Projekt Red, their distribution service that they have is GOG. So if I bought a box copy of their game, would they kind of automatically put me into that launcher?
Probably.
And stuff? Because I like seeing all my Steam games. I can just access them from there. So I don't know. Unless it's a collector's edition on computer, I'm probably just going to end up downloading it. But console stuff, I'm for sure going to stick with physical as long as I can.
I mean, I have no preference anymore. If it's on Switch, I'm going to get physical because I don't have a lot of space to download games, obviously. But PC, digital, console, probably physical.
Yeah, same here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
War Hero Gaming says, hey guys, this question is only for Garrett. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
All right, see you.
Cog Connected just put their podcast up on YouTube and I assume other places also. My question is, at any point, do you think they will ask you to be a guest, and also, would you do it? I, for one, would be okay with it, but I know the podcasts you guys have are special. No hurt feelings either way. Also, can't wait for the next Ask IOG.
My feelings would be hurt.
Yeah, they have already had asked me a while ago about doing that. I don't know if I'll be a permanent guest, but they've been talking about doing the podcast for a long time, and I told them they should have called it the Cogcast. It just totally makes sense, but...
Yeah.
They went with Press X to podcast, but
Press X.
It's called Press X to podcast. I suggested Cogcast, but I didn't go with it.
I like Cogcast.
Me too. But yeah, they're awesome.
I guess that's more video gamey if you're looking for a game podcast, so I can see.
So, but I will inevitably probably be on there every now and then for stuff. I know we'll be doing a lot of E3 stuff as well.
You won't be talking about farting and stuff on there.
No, of course not. Probably about Canadian antics of some sort.
Hockey and stuff, maple syrup.
Oh, Canadian bacon.
Exactly. So stuff like that, you know, just typical Canadian stuff.
I got you.
Be a little more cultured by the end of making a guest appearance on Press X, the podcast.
Bring some class back to this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be the first time I've been on another podcast. I remember when not long after we started this podcast, I was on Audio Boom's official gaming podcast for a single episode with a girl who no longer
put him out of business.
Basically, her podcast ended like a few episodes after I was on. So I don't know what, I think she just quit Audio Boom or something, but I was on an episode of that where we talked about Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 3 was coming out that day. She's like, will you talk to me about Dark Souls 3? And I was like, I guess. I was like, I haven't played it yet, because I think they had already had it, because, you know, they can get early access to games. But I was like, oh, crap. So I had to, like, research the crap. I didn't even play any Dark Souls. I'd played Bloodborne. That was it. So I had to research the crap out of Dark Souls.
To have
and pretend like I knew what I was talking about Dark Souls. Like, oh, yes, you know, the dodge mechanic is very effective. You know, the difficulty is in the eye of the beholder, you see, because some people may think it's easy, but it's probably going to be pretty hard.
That's a good point.
And she's British. She's like, oh, it's so hard. It's going to be so hard. And I was like, yeah, probably. I haven't played it, but I'm going to pick it up today. I'm excited. So I remember that. That was forever ago, but I can't remember what that show was called. So yeah, if I'm on that podcast,
why did you used to sound like that when you were on the podcast?
It's before I had my nose surgery.
Oh.
So, which I hope I don't have another nose surgery, because I feel like my nose is getting worse again. We'll see.
No.
Maybe they should just take it off.
Remove it. I was thinking about that. Yeah, it'd be
you could do
much more convenient.
Sick Red Skull cosplay.
Exactly.
Replace it with a duck bill.
It works for me. Start talking like Donald.
See, that's a character you could be.
Donald?
Yeah.
Donald
you would actually
Doohickey.
look like him too.
Donald Doohickey.
That's the other name I almost chose over Alistair Shaft. Harold Bucksworth, Donald Doohickey, and Alistair
Basil.
Shaft. Basil.
Just do Basil.
Basil. Falky says, 2 questions. What is your highest rank in PUBG? It says you can go to PUBGstats.com to see. But
sounds like a lot of work.
It does. Maybe you just type in your name. If someone want to pull it up and see real quick, I'll tell a funny story while we wait.
My phone doesn't work. I gotta get a new phone. Sorry.
I'm going to say I am towards the bottom. That's what I will say.
Your best rank, like in a game?
Maybe overall.
What is your highest rank in PUBG? I don't know.
Mine's probably like in the 30s.
There was a dude I was talking to at work the other night. It was either PUBG or another game where he and his buddies played so consistently that they were originally in like the top 300,000, and they made their way all the way up to about 8,000. I was like, in the grand scheme of things, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
But he said that's how far they made it at one point. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You looking it up, Preston? PUBGstats.com.
Wow.
Let's think of a funny story to share while we wait, Jacob.
I need to pee and poop.
Perhaps I'll join you.
At my house?
Here. Why not here?
Because I want to pee and poop at my house.
I don't blame you. I'm the same way. I mean, I've traveled miles to poop in my own toilet if I can make it back. I don't mess with public toilets, man.
I am solo.
Trash.
I'm 1,224.
Sounds amazing with
my KD ratio
3 million or 30 million plus players.
My KD ratio is 2.0.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Duo, it's my KD ratio in squad is 1306, and my KD is 0.18 in squad. That's awful. So my KD is way higher in solo.
Han Solo.
It says I've only played 21 matches, and I've been in the top 10 9 times.
Hey, Maz. You do that really well, Jacob.
Okay.
Hey, Maz. No, I can't do it.
Garrett, what's your name?
You do Maz Kanata really
Isn't
well.
it yours LOL or something?
It's LOL_ please.
All capital for LOL?
It's just capital L, lowercase OL _ capital P for please.
Please.
I gotta change my password on this new phone.
You are 1342 with a KD of 0.76 in solo. Duo, though, you're 1214 and your KD is 2.5.
That'll do.
That's pretty bad. I mean, that's pretty good.
I'll take that.
You've played 58 matches and you've been in the top 10 13 times. You have 53 kills overall.
You hear that, gentlemen?
Hey, that's
working my
pretty
way up in the
good.
world.
All right. I don't know what.
Forgot
it
Jacob
is.
doesn't play. He's at the bottom for sure.
I've played like 5 matches, dude.
Falky also asked, "Are you invested in crypto?"
No.
Me neither.
Nope.
Bitcoins.
Take your bits and your tits and well, not the tits. You can leave the tits here.
You can leave the
I like
tits.
the
Get
tits.
the bits out of here.
It's funny, our buddy Zach, who we went to high school with, not McDearmont or Bynum, the other Zach, he was talking about Bitcoin when we were like sophomores in high school.
Yeah, I remember.
I wouldn't be surprised if now he's
he was
like
tweeting about it.
prospering
He would
off
like
this
have these
Bitcoin thing.
graphs.
Well,
about
it tanked
Bitcoin, I remember
recently,
going.
so he might have lost some money.
I thought it was good. I thought it was like really.
Well, I think it tanked, then it stabled out a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know anything. All I know is it made GPU prices go up. That's all I know.
Bitcoin. We're not invested in crypto.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but I thought that was interesting.
Money
that
of the future.
this is like a big topic now, but Zach was talking about it forever ago. So he was one of the pioneers.
He was way cool a long time ago.
He's really cool now.
Yeah.
So, last question, the one I found in iTunes miraculously. I actually had to take a screenshot because it wouldn't let me copy and paste from iTunes. He gave us a 5-star review and an amazing headline.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you, Viper. So from It's Viper 036, he says, "My Mondays are enjoyable now that I found this channel. Preston is always saying hey whenever you have time to subscribe, and I did. I have a community question for y'all, but I don't know if you guys read the reviews." We did. Like I said, it's funny that I found this days after he posted it.
We found you, Viper. Thanks for doing what I said.
Yes. All right, here it is. When you are playing together, do you ever goof off and get sidetracked from an objective? Because I always do, for instance, when I used to play Destiny. Emphasis on used to play Destiny. It's in all caps.
You're not alone, bro.
Yeah, it's all of us. I would always find out that there was a public event and do it and forget what I set off to do in the first place. Keep up the good work, guys. You guys end up reading this. You can call me Viper. We will call you Viper.
I think I'll call you Steve.
That's very disrespectful, Preston.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure we get sidetracked all the time.
That's like me playing The Witcher. Is essentially me just getting sidetracked.
Me
every 5
playing
seconds.
Zelda.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Zelda, I got
Zelda for
sidetracked
sure.
constantly.
Yeah.
It's the shrines in particular.
Any open world RPG, I get sidetracked in.
Yeah.
Fallout, especially.
That was me playing Nier. Just I had to force myself to just stick to the plot line because.
But even if you do that, you feel under leveled a lot. At least I
yeah,
do.
I know, but I just kind of wanted to get through it. But it's so hard in games with extra content to not do it, especially if you're enjoying the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, Destiny too. Not the second Destiny, but Destiny as well for me. I would get sidetracked with public events and I'd forget what I was even doing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be killing this mob for the 100th time because that's all Destiny is.
I wonder if Destiny will ever become what the world wants it to be.
No.
Or if it's just destined to just be what it is and they're just dance around that.
Just dance around.
Dance around the same issues forever until it's dead.
Did you see the guy do the dance emoji and like dodge a sniper bullet? It's like a GIF going around.
Was it from Destiny?
Yeah, it was from Destiny 1, but a guy shot like a sniper at.
And you couldn't hit him while he was dancing?
No, he did a dance and like dodged the bullet. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
gentlemen, that's the end of community questions. Thank you again to all of you who submitted this week and every other week before that. Look forward to more Ask IOG, plenty of questions to get to. Keep them coming because the shows will continue rolling out over time.
For sure. Thanks for joining us, guys, for the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast. Just like Viper, you can go to iTunes and leave us a review and subscribe to us there as well. And if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify or any other podcasting service besides YouTube, not that YouTube's a podcasting services, but please come to youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. Subscribe, maybe like all of our videos. Just go to the very beginning, like all of them. Leave us a nice don't go too far back. Never mind, just don't do that.
Don't go anywhere beyond like mid 2015.
Just stay in this week just to be safe. Like, comment, join our Discord channel as well. We have a bunch of groovy cats down there who are really nice and are really nice to each other. And they're always looking for more friends to talk to. So join us there. That's all in the description down below.
And follow us on Twitch as well. Hang out with us on a live stream. We've been streaming a lot. We're going to stream this week a little bit too.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I want to play Siege.
As do I. Let's play tonight.
I'll play tonight.
Yes.
I'll be in Alabama this week though.
Yeah, so let's make the
From
most of
Tuesday
it
to
while we
Friday.
can.
Okay. Sounds good. I'd like to play some Wildlands too.
Let's
if you're
do-
off
let's do
tomorrow, that would be fun maybe.
I should have a little time tomorrow. I'm gonna do. I have to do a massive COG video tomorrow, and I'm hoping to shoot some stuff with Jacob tomorrow night. Important stuff.
Are there motorcycles in Wildlands?
There are.
There are.
Have you guys thought of being the Wild Hogs and rolling around a squad?
We can be the Wild Hogs if you want.
Because that's the best movie ever made is Wild Hogs.
I agree.
I love Steve Carell.
Okay.
Is he in that movie?
No. It was Tim Allen and
And Martin Lawrence is in it, I think.
Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence,
John
Travolta, and
What the hell?
that nerdy guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
who
I
gets
know.
the chick at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Great.
Wild Hogs.
I've never seen it all the way through.
Oh really? I've seen it multiple
I've seen
times.
it too many times.
Yeah. How? Does your dad like it or something? Dude, my dad likes it too. It's such a dad movie, isn't
I
it?
wonder if my dad likes it. I bet he does.
I bet you he doesn't.
My dad doesn't like any
Dad
movie.
should hang out and just watch Wild Hogs. My dad rides a bike too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
That
probably why he
makes
That's
sense.
such a dad movie. That and like RV.
Does your dad like Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you seen RV with Robin Williams?
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
He likes that movie too.
Yeah, my dad.
RV's
likes it.
great, man.
What's your dad's favorite movie?
I don't know. He doesn't talk about it.
My dad's favorite movie is Forrest Gump
Okay.
of all time. He loves that movie.
I think he likes. What are those? You know those old choir movies where they were singing? It's like all the black ladies in the choir. I think they're nuns.
Oh, with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves those movies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. He likes those movies a lot though. I don't think they're his favorite movies.
Sister Act, I think. Is that what
That
it's called?
sounds right, yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
Whoopi.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg. What's she doing? Is she
She's
still
on
that
The
talk
Voice
show?
or The View, I think,
Is she
right?
on
Yeah,
The
it's
View
The
still?
View.
I think so.
My mom used to watch that. Not anymore.
Not in,
Whoopi.
that quote from Ryan Gosling in Gangster Squad. You can't kill me, you're a cop. Not anymore.
Does he shoot him?
Oh yeah, shoots him in the face.
Bang. Well, that was really cool. Anything else you guys like to put out there before we sign off?
Love you to bits and the community. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Thanks.
Let's hang out on a stream or Let's Play or just video games in general this week. It'd be fun.
Great.
And let's talk in Discord.
That'd be
And
fun.
comment below on anything we've discussed today on YouTube. The comments really help us out.
Yep.
So yeah.
Have a good
Sounds
day.
good.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.